Hello and welcome to a slightly damp Fratton Park. I'm Harry Smith.
Hello, I'm Peter London, and welcome to the Hampshire FA Senior Cup final for the women's.
It promises to be an exciting game today. It's between AFC Bournemouth Women and Southampton FC RTC Academy. And ironically, it's the first final in 14 years that hasn't involved Portsmouth FC, and we are here at the home of Portsmouth.
Isn't it hilarious?
But Peter, tell us a little bit about what we've got coming up on the show today.
Yeah, we've got hopefully a lot of goals and everything. And yes, we're going to go on to the montage now.
We are going to go over to Neil Mulik, who is our pitch side presenter, and he spoke to Southampton FC's manager.
Hi, good afternoon, and first of all, congratulations, they're playing in the Hampshire Cup final. How does it feel here to be here playing against a side that nobody really was expecting to be here, but both teams are here, perfectly balanced, and how are you feeling before the game today?
We're excited to be here in the final, whoever we were to play. Both semi-finals were really, really tough, so whoever got to the final warranted their place, so we're just looking forward to a really competitive game today.
A silverware is on the line, and we know that the club as a whole hasn't really done well in the seasons. How much of an expectations are you carrying as an individual and a manager and the team that you know that you have a trophy for the bag?
We're here to try and win this. We haven't come here not to. We've come with a game plan that hopefully does win. If it doesn't, then we look back. Got some young players, they take the experience forward. But yeah, this isn't unnormal. This group have been in finals last year, so it's just another one on our extended journey.
As you mentioned, a lot of young players, this is a young bunch of young girls that they'll take forward. So what does it mean for them? And you as a manager, you know that these girls do not have much experience of playing in finals and stuff. So as a manager, as a boss, how do you keep motivating them and before the game, what do you really speak to them today?
So you don't need to motivate them. They're in a cup final. If I need to motivate anyone, then that's wrong. So they're all here ready to play, ready to win. This is excellent. You can't give. So we've got players here on their journey looking to become first-team players in the WSL and the Championship and become professional athletes. Now, if we can give them experiences of cup finals and cup games on the way, then that is excellent. There are not many full professionals that get to experience cup finals along their journey. We've got players here now that have been with us a couple of seasons that have now experienced their third final in 2 seasons. We've got some that have just come into it this season. The more we can expose to them, the better we then build and develop our players for the first team, which is the ultimate aim. This is just one part of their journey towards first team.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
Yes, and today we've got our pundit for the day with us here, Ed Jones.
So for many of these young players, this will be the biggest game of their career so far. Tell me a little bit about what you think they're going to need to do to be able to control their emotions in a situation and in a stadium like this.
I think it certainly will be a big game for them, but at the same time, I think that's something that they'll approach with excitement. I think they'll take it in their stride. There's lots of fans here tonight from both teams. Obviously, for Southampton, you can say it's a little bit of a get one over the rivals if they win the cup here tonight, here at Fratton Park, obviously Pompey. But no, I think the players, there's a decent mix in both teams. Well, obviously Southampton's an academy team, but in Bournemouth, they've got a good mix of youth and experience. I think a lot of those older Bournemouth players will be ready for it tonight. That have played in similar stadiums before. I think they can use that to their advantage as well.
So you've told us a little bit about the squads. Can you name any names of players that we should watch out for?
So obviously for Bournemouth, it's Molly Clark that's stole the headlines so far in the run to the final. Obviously some big goals in both games prior to this one. Obviously we've got Katie James as well, good experienced player for Bournemouth. But for Saints, it's Kaylee Buckingham who's been knocking the goals in previous rounds for them. So obviously, I think for the Saints, obviously there's a chance for them. You've seen other players in Southampton women's first team now come through the ranks and they're in the first team. And they're doing great in the Championship as well. So it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, before they become a Super League club as well.
Well, thank you very much for that, Ed. Well, now we're going to take a little look back and we're going to see how both teams got to the final. Well, it certainly has been an exciting journey for both teams so far. So Ed, let's talk a little bit more about the game we can expect today. Both teams have definitely got goals in them. From your point of view, who are you thinking is going to come out on top today?
I think it's difficult to call. If you look at the results prior to this final tonight, I think you can say there's a few similar kind of patterns. Obviously, Bournemouth beating the holders and kind of the host finalists for tonight, Portsmouth, in the semi-final. That was a big result for them. Again, Southampton have beaten another Bournemouth team. They've beaten Bournemouth Sports 10-0 in the quarter-final, as well as a big victory as well in the semi-final against the other Southampton team. We're not going to get into that, the differences between the two clubs. You know, a bit of a Spider-Man meme situation going on there. But yeah, I think whatever happens tonight, I think it'll be a great game. Obviously, there's plenty of fans filling up the Fratton end here at Portsmouth. I just think it'll be a great advert, I think, for Hampshire, the local football scene.
Well, as we're speaking now, the players are just coming out behind us. You can probably see that as they come out onto the pitch now. We are approaching kick-off time, and the excitement is building here at Fratton Park. We're going to carry on and talk a little bit about the teams and about the two clubs. I don't want to mention St Mary's too much when we are stood inside of Fratton Park, but I've been there a couple of times this season, and the buzz that's building around the women's team is really, really growing game by game. Why do you think that is? Can you give me a little rundown of why you think women's football is becoming bigger and bigger?
The obvious answer is obviously the Lionesses winning the Euros last summer. Obviously beating Germany last minute with that Chloe Kelly goal. It's sparked a big boom, I think, in attendances across women's football. But for Saints, for Bournemouth, they've obviously built upon their Premier League sort of status. The men's team have got, they built on that. They have plenty of home games at the grounds, at the men's grounds. So I think overall, I think young players are starting to see these role models, the Chloe Kellys of the world, the Leah Williamsons that's the right word for it. Yeah, I think they're looking at those players now and seeing, you know, it's that old saying, if you can see it, you can be it. Mm-hmm. I think it's great for women's football that we've got that now.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much for that. And if you want to keep up with us on social media, then you can look on the Solent Sports News Instagram and Twitter, and of course watch us on the YouTube live feed on Hampshire FA. But now we're going to throw you over to our commentators, Liu Chin and Max Timms, to give the rundown on the lineups.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. We are live at Fratton Park, and we're going to go through Southampton's lineup and Bournemouth's lineup. So Southampton lineup is this: number 1 in goal, Grace Jenneman; number 2, Ellie Schaaf; number 4, Anya Lucas; number 5, Sam Corey; number 6, Helena Meadows; number 9, Kaylee Buckingham; and number 10, Alicia Buckingham. Number 12, Sophia Mallon; 14, and captain, hoping to lift the trophy, it'll be Katie Jeffrey; and number 15, finally 18, Dream Surin. And the coaches, Michelle Yule. And the lineup for AFC Bournemouth is this: number 1, Katie Skading; number 2, Abby Jones; 6 and captain, Maisie Smith; number 7, Elle Elkins; 9, Lucy Cooper; 14, Katie James; for 15, Kelly Fripp; 16, Jess Treckweek; number 27, Amber Treckweek; 32, Molly Gladwell; and 33, Pearl Mortimer. And the coach is Steve Cuss. And the players are just taking their positions now on the pitch. I'm joined by Liu Chin on commentary. Liu, what are you expecting from the game today?
Yes, Maxwell, a pleasure to be here first of all, and I mean, it's a cup final, so I'm expecting an absolute cracker between these two teams.
And you obviously two fairly young sides. Obviously Southampton are their academy, so a lot of raw talent, hopefully looking to go on to bigger things, make the first team. And Bournemouth also with some youngsters in the side.
Yeah, well, we know Southampton on their men's team are well known for their academy prospects, so we do expect that, you know, the girls team as well should be able to put out a performance here that will be well worthwhile.
And we've had a bit of rain just in the last couple of hours, so how do you think the surface might change everything?
Yeah, well, I mean, a bit of moisture on the pitch isn't too bad, but of course you don't want it to be too wet where your passes, you know, are going off, or goalkeepers, of course, hate rain. But I think some sun did come out a little bit, so the pitch should be decent enough conditions and comfortable enough for the players as well.
As the two captains just approach the centre circle. Just talking to the referee, the manager, referee Michael Paynton. Assistant referees are Gary Watson and Gareth Davis, and the fourth official today is James Craskell.
As you can see, Max, the rain is drizzling down still a little bit. As I mentioned earlier, the goalkeepers are not going to like that. So, I mean, if the players were to hear me, I would be telling my teammates have a shot, because, it's going to be difficult for keepers to hold on to the ball. Whether or not, they go for that tactic, I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see.
And important for both sides to get off to a quick start today, get some momentum under there, especially Southampton, as you feel they are the younger team, a little more inexperienced. And do you think there'll be a few nerves rattling around for a cup final?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a cup final at any level, any final, any tournament, there are going to be nerves. I mean, the fans are out, of course. I'm sure these girls' families and friends and spectators are out here, so there's going to be some pressure. But as you rightfully said, if they are able to get off to a good start, should grow into the game as it progresses.
Kickoff is then imminent. Both teams hoping to add some silverware to their both impressive campaigns. Bournemouth in their familiar home strip, while Southampton in the away teal shirt. Bournemouth shooting right to left.
As you can hear right next to us, Max, on the stands, a lot of Saints fans are hearing the shouts of Southampton, so that's definitely going to break any nerves of these Southampton girls.
100%. As Katie Buckingham looks to get us off the way. Just waiting for the referee's whistle. And we are live in the Hampshire Senior Cup Women's Final. Bournemouth versus Southampton in this South Coast derby at Fratton Park. Southampton looking to put on some early pressure here and get the ball up the pitch.
Some good control there, but usually, Max, in these games at the start, they usually tend to start off a bit scrappy. As you said, getting and growing into the game. So I think both teams will just try to feel out the ball a little bit, get a taste of the pitch.
Southampton getting near the box now, looking to spread the play. Some good early pressure, but a chance for Bournemouth to counter-attack here. Well won back. Lovely diagonal ball to the right-hand side, to Daisy Beard. She runs down the right-hand side. Alicia Buckingham tries to find the pass, but can't quite squeeze it through. You see both sides do just testing each other, you could say. Not committing too many bodies forward at the early stages, but as you said, getting a feel for the ball.
Yeah, you don't need to, because, I mean, to take risks so early on, I mean, it's a one-off day. It's not a league game, it's a tournament. One mistake could cost you the whole match. So it is important that these girls just get the feel of the pitch, get the feel of the ball, and get into a rhythm.
Southampton pick up the possession. Just looking for options here. Alicia Buckingham. Passes it to Surin, but Surin's missed control. And Bournemouth regain possession, trying to stray forward, and they've created a great ball over to the right-hand side. Looking to put a cross in here. Dink to the back post, and it just goes over the oncoming winger as Southampton look to clear the ball. Good early chance though for Bournemouth.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the pace there of Lucy Cooper, the forward, so she's getting in there and getting into some danger areas, so it's something that Southampton will have to look after.
Do you think that this is something a strategy Bournemouth will be going after today, the counter-attack? They seem to have sat in a little bit in the early stages, and well, you saw some great pace on the wing.
Yeah, and we saw in the lead up to the finals, a lot of their goals were scored from pressing and from high counter-attack, so they'll definitely be looking to play to their strengths today.
They just tried another long ball over the top, but couldn't quite find the forward player. Southampton looking calm on the ball so far in these early stages. Kaylee Buckingham picks it up, looking to jinx past the defender. Alicia Buckingham's in the box. Ooh, and it's a great save to deny the cross. Alicia Buckingham would have had a tap in there to look to shoot. It's a poor shot, and Bournemouth should be able to clear from here. A good attacking feel to the game so far, though, Leo.
Yeah, both teams showing their stripes early, Max. We are definitely in for a cracker. It's a cup final.
As Southampton looks across it in from the left-hand side again, and it's a corner ball. First corner of the game. Set piece is often so important in a cup final.
Yeah, and Katie Scadding with a very, very important intervention there, because it could have easily been 1-0.
Corner about to be whipped in with the in-swinger. Good height on it. Comes out to the back stick, but can't quite get control of the ball. It's a good cross, deflected and shot, and Southampton putting loads of pressure on Bournemouth here in these early stages. Surin putting across now. She finds Alicia Buckingham, who puts in a low hard ball. Out! And it's a 1-0! It sneaks in! Kaylee Buckingham with the goal. I think it took a slight deflection going in, but it's a brilliant start for the Southampton players.
Yes, Max, and the Buckingham connection.
It is.
You know, it was Alicia putting in the ball, and a wonderful finish from Kaylee as well, and a great start for Southampton.
And you've got to say the goal has been coming. They've put on a lot of early pressure in these stages, and yeah, get reward. Perfect way to start the game.
I'll tell you what, Max, that is going to rattle Bournemouth, because, I mean, you don't want to concede early at all. But a lot of pressure on Southampton now to maintain that lead, because they wouldn't want to let Bournemouth back into this one.
We just see a replay off the goal here. It's a lovely low finish, deflected in. And they will take that. 1-0 Southampton. As Bournemouth gets back underway. Do you think the goalkeeper, Katie Scadding, could have done better for that goal, or?
I mean, it's a tough one, because the ball was coming through bodies, and it was very close range, so reflex had to be, you know, better. But to be fair, it was straight at her, so maybe she could have gotten stronger contact, but I wouldn't blame the keeper too much on that one.
As Bournemouth look to attack here. Orton's on the left, takes a shot, deflected, and it's a brilliant save by Grace Genman, diving to save the deflected effort.
Well, it's confident football all around from Saints RTC, Max. I mean, you're seeing them attacking, now we're seeing the defensive and goalkeeping side of them, so definitely a great start for them.
And the game's got a great feel. Obviously, Southampton taking the early lead, but attacking play from both sides. Bournemouth looking dangerous on the counter-attack. Bournemouth's first corner of the game. In swinging right foot. Cleared away by Southampton. And there's an opportunity for a break, but Bournemouth should have that covered off. And Southampton now can run through down the right-hand side. Daisy Beard holding the ball very well. She passes it back to Alicia Buckingham, who looks to put a cross in, and it's well defended. They
seem to have a lot of joy coming down this right-hand side, Max. Of course, the goal came from there as well, and we see the right back as well getting on the ball a lot. So they tend to favour this right side, Saints.
Sam Corey with the throw in. Flicked on to Surin. You could have a shot here. It's another corner for Southampton. What have you made, Leo, of this Southampton start? Obviously getting the goal, but young side, inexperienced. The occasion hasn't seemed to affect them in any way.
Hasn't at all. They started off really strongly and have been really impressed so far. And let's see if they can make anything from this corner.
Cross is whipped in. Looks for the acrobatic volley, and it's a good effort, you've got to say. The ball was behind her.
I think she did well to make something of that there, but again, we could see the confidence oozing through the Saints RTC team.
Bit of controversy over the throw-in. It's given Southampton.
Everything seems to be going Southampton's way, Max.
Southampton get another throw-in. A Bournemouth throw-in now. Southampton couldn't make enough of that opportunity. What do you think Bournemouth needs to do to get back in this game?
Yeah, I think they just need to stop, inviting so much pressure, as we could see the high press.
See here, Southampton's high press almost catches them out, and it is a foul by Buckingham.
Yeah, they've gotten away with that one there, Max, but I don't think at this stage in the game they should be playing around with the ball in the back too much. They need to get the ball forward, use that pace that we saw earlier, and try to put some pressure on the Southampton back line.
100%. Southampton look to pass through the press. As the keeper just gets the ball away, and it's out for a Bournemouth throw-in. Both sides are operating quite a high pressing line. Very frantic at the moment. So we just see the goal again. Yeah, just deflects in.
Good news is, Max, for the players, the rain has stopped and it is a bit sunny, so some better playing conditions.
Southampton looks forward now, showing good pace here. Daisy Beard puts in a low cross and it's intercepted by the centre-back. Quite casual defending there, you got to say. And it's given a Bournemouth free kick.
But again, Max, we see them coming down on this right-hand side, Daisy Beard. They definitely have confidence in her, and she seems to be a big threat.
And the wingers for both sides seem to be quicker than their opposition fullback, which obviously always sets up a entertaining match, let's say the least.
Yeah.
Surin looks forward, pass out to left-hand side. Southampton another opportunity in the wide area to get a good cross in. Jinx's pass goes low, and it's a missed kick from Buckingham, but it comes out to Surin, and Ness shot goes far wide. But again, Southampton knocking at the door.
This time they come down on the left-hand side. Again, it's Buckingham in the middle looking to pounce. This time she just doesn't get the connection that she wants.
Yes, the two Buckinghams causing lots of issues for Bournemouth at the moment. Bournemouth just slowing the game down slightly, trying to get some momentum and patterns of play in their game. But look how quick the Southampton presses. They don't win the throw-in, but all the right signs here for the Saints. Sam Corey not happy with that decision. Went against her. It's a tight call for the referee, that one. It's flicked on by Molly Gladwell. Nice control, hold up play. Jinx is round. She's got onward runners if she can find them. Goes safe into the midfield. Opportunity here for Daisy Beard to get a good cross in again. The keeper should claim that, and does. It's good hands by Katie Scadding.
Actually, Max, we've seen the two Buckinghams playing well today. Should it be ironic that the coronation had anything to do with that?
You could say so. We are in for a royal feast of football tonight. Bournemouth looking for play, a hint of offside, but the linesman's flag didn't go up. Southampton need to look to clear here. Big hoof up to the striker. Could be a chance here. Goes under the keeper. Oh, and it's cleared off the line. And Southampton get away. I can't believe what I've just seen, Liu.
Well, that
what
was
a fluky goal that would have been. Could that just inspire Bournemouth a little bit more? They put a cross in. This time the keeper does deal with it. Grace Gemman did well, but Just 30 seconds ago, her heart was in her mouth there, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, as you can see here, she got away with that one. And I mean, I know it bounced over her head, but we did mention goalkeepers holding on to the ball. Could be an issue of the ball being a bit wet.
But Southampton struggled to get it out now. Shot by Bournemouth, it's a good strike, and keeper gets well behind it.
I think she heard me because she held on to that one really well there, Max, and that'll help her to regain her confidence in herself.
But you just saw from Bournemouth, one hoof ball up caused an issue, and from then they had 2 other shots. Clearly gave them a little bit of confidence in the game.
I think Coach Cuss should be looking at that as an option.
As Beard comes down this right-hand side again, puts in another good delivery, and again, good handling by the goalkeepers. This chance from Let's Go Bournemouth come from the stand. Some fans want to see a little bit more from their team here.
Yeah, I think they need it because, I mean, in the opening 14 minutes here, I think Southampton RTC have been the better team. Bournemouth have had their chances, but, I mean, clearly you could see through the lead and the chances created by Southampton that they are the team who seem to be in the front running for raising the cup later.
So, yeah, as you can see, Bournemouth just slowing the game down, getting a good feel for the ball. Goes out to Kelly Frepp. Finds a good pass in. Molly Gladwell hoofs it up, and it's a strong tackle. A fair one, the referee judged that though. And Jones comes away with it. They have a 4-on-4 counter-attack here. If they can find the right pass, it's in behind. The chance is still alive here. She's jinxing in, and it's well defended, well marshalled. Showed some good strength there.
Yeah, that's some good experience defending there from the Southampton backline.
But Molly Gladwell on this left wing looked a threat for Bournemouth. I've got to say, she a small player, but showed some good strength against her fullback, but just got out-marshalled in the end by the Southampton centre-back.
Yeah, it was good football all around, to be honest.
Just a stoppage in play here for, since that big tackle erupted, I think a shin pad may have fallen out of the sock. It's a lovely ball out. Suspicion of handball, referee says play on. And that'll be a Southampton throw in. Sam Corey to throw the ball in.
I think she's had a good start as well to the game, Max. She's been pretty composed in the back, as you can see.
As we see a Croton get whipped out. It's been a high quality first half so far in the opening 15 minutes. I say both teams looking strong on the counter attack, and that was obviously Southampton with the goal, but also having that scare with the unfortunate goalkeeper mishap, but really well recovered by a defender on the line. But Bournemouth, they shouldn't be down about this so far. They've had a great season. Obviously, they beat Portsmouth in the semi-final to get to this stage of the competition, and so they will be hoping to carry on that form. But Southampton so far are looking the better side.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I mean, it is still quite early on. There's a lot of time, so they do have time to grow into the game, get a goal, probably force penalties if it does have to reach to that. But I think they just have to try not to make any mistakes, try not to concede again, because 1-0 is bad enough, but 2 goals is almost like a mountain to climb back, you know, so.
Southampton in promising attacking position again. There's a shot low and wide. Disappointing effort, that one.
They seem very confident playing out to the back, Max. Haven't seen any long goal kicks as yet from Bournemouth. They've done all their build-up play from the back. So
yeah, not necessarily. No long goal kicks, but you have seen the long ball as soon as it gets into a fullback, trying to look for the counter-attack. It's almost like they're trying to get Southampton to press onto them to initiate a counter-attack from them being in possession early on. A system often seen in the Premier League from likes of Antonio Conte implemented it. As Bournemouth looked to find a ball in, if they got the ball right, they would have been one-on-one with the keeper. It's a mistake, and Bournemouth can't quite get the interception to stick to the foot. They're pressing well again here. Fripp hits it long. Buckingham looks to initiate an attack, but no one's running onto a through ball. And Bournemouth will regain possession.
Yeah, I think we've just reached that kind of moderate stage in the half marks where teams, they've kind of figured out each other, so they're just trying to, you know, not do anything too extra and just look for the opportunity to pounce on any mistake that one of the opposition might make.
Yeah, Maisie Cooper played a nice ball in there, but the Bournemouth player couldn't quite control it down. But Bournemouth looking more comfortable as the game on. I think the goal did rattle them, but gotta say, you've seen some nice touches and some nice attempts. But it's down these wings. Southampton looks so dangerous, and yet again, here they come. Sophie Mallon looks to put a ball in the box again. Step over, Jinx and defender. And it's a great ball out. Good block, comes out again, and just over the bar. Huge chance for Southampton to go 2 goals in front. She'll be disappointed with that one, won't she?
Yeah, she will be disappointed because she got 2 bites at the cherry. No pun intended, as it is Bournemouth. But, I mean, that's poor defending from the Bournemouth ladies, if I'm being honest. She's completely free on top of the box. A great block initially, but then to get that second chance, she's definitely going to be disappointed, Max. I think Bournemouth have gotten away with one there.
Yeah, 100%. Shows Southampton aren't settling just from the 1-goal lead at the moment. And it's down this left-hand side with Sophie Mallon. She's causing so many issues. She looks like such a tricky, pacey, powerful player and isn't afraid to run her opposite fullback. Maisie Smith for Bournemouth's got a real task on her hands trying to defend for the rest of the game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And now we're seeing them attacking on the left-hand side a little more. So they do have attacking threats on both wing-backs. And chances created from both sides as well.
Bournemouth go long from the goal kick, looking to set off a counter-attack, but go straight through to Southampton, who fit up again. It's a lovely spread ball towards the right-hand side. She gets the ball back. Buckingham looking to go past her opposite fullback, puts in a nice ball and straight into the keeper's arms again. We've seen that a few times, Lou, haven't we? And it looks like Buckingham is down injured. I don't know if the ref has noticed it or if she's off the pitch. The score is 1-0 to Southampton in the opening 20 minutes. Kaylee Buckingham with the goal making the difference. As Alicia Buckingham here is struggling after a hefty challenge.
I'll tell you what, Max, that's going to be a big blow for Saints RTC if it is she is to come off, because she's been, you know, the midfield technician, engineer for the team so far. She's been that creative spark, of course, assisting the goal. So they're going to hope that she'll be back up on her feet.
Yes, the wingers of Southampton so important here. Buckingham and Mallon causing so many issues for this Bournemouth backline. Sometimes crosses haven't been the best and gone straight into Casey Scalling's arms, but they're looking a real threat. And as soon as they get those crosses of a higher quality, you can only see more goals. Southampton coming. This Bournemouth look to be coming through now. Lucy Cooper on the ball, takes a heavy touch, and it's a great sliding tackle. Cooper, though, just showed a bit too much of the ball there.
Yeah, I think she overestimated her pace But she has been a threat for Bournemouth, and to be fair, Saints have dealt with it well. They've been defending. So, interesting battle down on the right-hand side over there.
Corner to come in. In swinger onto the keepers. And Bournemouth quite can't get that on target as Hampton can get the ball away here. But possibility of a counter-attack if she can find the right option, and it's well cut through. As it comes out to Katie James, who just looks to slow the game down. Maisie Smith looking for the ball over. And Molly Gladwell is tackled, and she is offside. Needs time to run a bit better there, but she's an option. She's an option in behind.
Yeah, and of course you mentioned Katie James, who used to play for Portsmouth, so she'll be accustomed to these environs. Scoring 24 goals in her 95 appearances for them, and she also plays beach soccer and she won a European Championships in 2021. So she's been around the football scene.
Bournemouth threatening once again here. It's intercepted by Southampton. And it's great pressure put on here by Kaylee Buckingham, who looks cutting on her left foot, looking for options here. The space is just closed, but still threatened with Daisy Beard. He puts in a beautiful cross, and it's headed just away as the volley is scuffed, and Bournemouth can clear their lines, but not effectively enough. Surin looking to line out a shot there, decided against this. Beard gets another opportunity for a cross. It's one of another quality. And Bournemouth just can't get out here. They're penned in. It's a good shot and just wide. Hard technique, that one, turning back on it, but she's got a good connection.
Yeah, they really are turning up the heat here. Saints RTC, again, the right-hand side, giving them some joy.
Ellie Schaefer with the shot there once again. She was unlucky to score earlier, and that wasn't a bad effort whatsoever.
Yeah, but again, Max, we see the quality of Daisy Baird. I mean, almost every cross she's put in has been dangerous so far. So I think, if I'm being honest, although she didn't score, she has been my player of the match for the first half so far.
Calling it 25 minutes in. Bold.
So far.
Bournemouth have an extremely young side. They're obviously playing Southampton's academy right now, but they've got their fair share of prospects. 16-year-old Molly Gladwell on the left wing has looked a danger so far, and Holly Humphreys and Christina McKinnon have all made their debuts this year for the first team at just 16 years old. And what an experience this will be for them, a cup final. Surely invaluable in progressing their careers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the experience of playing at a well-traditioned and cultured stadium such as this in front of the fans in a big cup final, I mean, it could only benefit you as a young player. I mean, win, lose or draw, the memories, the experience will always be with you and help you to grow throughout your career. So yeah, definitely.
And obviously developing that winning mentality as a youngster, it can't then do anything but help. You see Bournemouth just looked a painful one there for Kate Jeffrey. Southampton again putting the pressure on. Ball available down the line to Daisy Beard once again on this right-hand side. How many times have we seen her in this position so far? It's another quality cross put right into the danger zone.
Yeah, Max, Daisy Beard once again, another dangerous cross, but well defended this time by Bournemouth. I think the goalkeeper took out Buckingham there.
Yeah, it looked a painful one, but Buckingham's positioning there was brilliant. The ball didn't look the best originally, but caused chaos in the defence. Southampton about to put the corner in. Punched away by the keeper. They can't get away fully though. The left-footed shot into the palms of Katie Scadding, and it's a good hold from her there. Once again, she showed some good handling. Not much she could have done about the goal, but that's a poor throw out. But Helena Meadows could not quite get that under control, and she was frustrated.
Yeah, a good display of goalkeeping there from Scadding. I mean, I know she did let the goal in, but to be fair to her, she did make a great save early on, and I think, you know, everything that has been thrown at her so far, she's dealt with well. So I think she's actually had a decent half.
Chance for Bournemouth to get in here. And it's taken out. She could be in trouble here. What is the ref going to give? It's only a yellow card. He's got the yellow card in his hand. Lee, what do you make of that one?
I'll tell you what, Max, I mean, that's borderline red card, because she looked to be the last defender there. And I think Lucy was definitely through on goal.
Based on last defender, I'd be surprised she stays on the pitch. Referee's got the yellow card in hand, but maybe he's being lenient so early on in the game, and obviously being a cup final, doesn't want to ruin the taste and atmosphere of it. But you've got to say, last defender.
Yeah, I think she's definitely gotten away with one there, Max. I could hear shouts from the Bournemouth bench and from the crowd. Should be red, but I mean, the referee, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he saw, so we'll have to side with his decision. But again, Max, the threat of the Bournemouth pace, Lucy Cooper once again getting in behind. And I mean, even though it wasn't a red card, a yellow card still puts pressure on a defender so early on in the game. She's going to have to be so careful of all the tackles that she makes.
As we see it again, as Sam Corey went into the tackle, she's very lucky to escape from red there, extremely lucky. But Bournemouth still have a chance. They need to move on from that, and a possible shooting angle here for the free kick. The left-footed shot. Oh, it's over the bar. Never really threatened Grace Gentleman there. Always had to be rising over. But Sam Corey's got to be careful here. She's looks slower than the oncoming attackers, so you should just manage her pace, give herself a yard or two back, and not commit another foul and give the referee a decision to make.
Yeah, well, it should be a tactic of Steve Cuss and Bournemouth to now put pressure on her, knowing that she's on that yellow card. I mean, you know, try and get her to get another and have that one-person advantage, but we'll see how it all goes.
Southampton passing across the back here once again, quite dangerously, but it's brilliantly done so far. One-touch football, and they've a breaking opportunity here now. Beard on the right-hand side again, a clear tactic used, and they can't quite find her. But the transition there from defence to attack by Southampton is quite magnificent. Little flick over the head. Done well to keep it in. Has she? No. Got a goal kick.
Buckingham again there, just showing a bit of a skill. I thought she kept it in.
It looked tight, but linesman was in a good position to view that one. And an early change for Bournemouth here. As Abby Jones joins the field.
And in again here, Max. And it's Lucy Cooper again getting in there, but this time the Saints RTC team are able to clear out the ball.
As Abby Jones goes past her fans and she gets a warm round of applause. As Bournemouth foot in the corner, and that's a waste of an opportunity for them.
Actually, looks like a tactical switch there from Steve Cuss, because I think, you know, Abby Jones coming off, and she was on this left-hand position, but a midfielder coming on, so maybe they're looking to exploit that attack a little more.
Early change. Abby Jones was struggling on this left-hand side to deal with Beard, so I don't think there was any injury involved as such. It looked more tactical and to nullify the attack. Southampton look to have an opportunity here. Long range shot and comfortable for Katie Scadding in goal. So yes, Blizzard number 4 has just slotted into the left hand side of what looks to be a back 3, possibly back 4. Some nice passing passage play from Bournemouth here. They look for the ball over on the right-hand side. Lucy Cooper will cross it in. And it's a great effort and a brilliant save. Grace Jenner getting down low quickly to deny the Bournemouth striker.
Yeah, a lovely move again, Max. And again, Lucy Cooper in the action. Bournemouth really have grown into this one. We've seen their confidence grow, some slick passing, and unlucky not to convert there. A great save again.
Great save and great effort. Ball crossed in, and it's finds its way into the back of the net. It wasn't great defending by Southampton, but Bournemouth bundle it in. I'm not quite sure who got the goal, but Bournemouth have somehow got back level.
And again, that is how you play in a cup final. I mean, they conceded very early on. We mentioned that they were rattled, but we've seen them grow. We've seen them getting more and more attacks, and now they've been rewarded for what they've been doing, Max.
And a big goal for Bournemouth at an important time of the game. Kelly Fripp with the goal from close range. She could hardly miss, really. It was a great ball in. Got to ask questions about the defending. The keeper could have come in and claimed the ball, but it's a great goal for Bournemouth and an important one. It doesn't matter in a cup final how you score, as long as you score. As the ball gets whipped in, yes, and number 15, Fripp, puts the ball in on the line. She'll never score an easier goal than that, will she, Liu?
No, she won't. And all I could say now is, Max, game on. And that's probably like the worst time to concede right before halftime. It's going to give something to Southampton to think about going into that halftime period.
And Southampton, they have threatened this game. They've looked dangerous, but so have Bournemouth. The goal has slightly been coming. Southampton haven't looked brilliant in defence. And you do just think if that's, as a substitute, change of system slightly impacted that? Well,
I'm not quite sure. I think, you know, we've seen Lucy Cooper coming down. Of course, it was through her efforts that they won that corner. And I think it was coming. It was coming.
It's Bournemouth look to go and get another one here. Southampton regain control of the ball. And it's cleared out by the Bournemouth defender, Kelly Fripp, who got the goal. Just having a solid afternoon though, Kelly Fripp, isn't she? Got the goal, seems to have got ahead on every cross that's come in by Southampton on this side. Just having quite the game out there, leading by example. It's a poor ball by Southampton. Bournemouth can't quite get away. I do feel that the counter-attack is on for them quite a lot. It's just getting the counter-attacks to go.
Yeah, definitely. I think both teams could benefit from the counter-attack here, actually. Obviously, we've seen Bournemouth exploit it a little more than Southampton, but I think Southampton do have the quality in their squad to do it.
Sub-Blizzard picks up the ball, loses out. The press from Beard once again doing great. And the ball doesn't quite get through to the striker, Southampton. Sounds like a bit of quality here. Danger player Beard puts in another ball. Solid defending.
I actually think, Max, and I sense that the Saints RTC team, you know, they probably really do want halftime to come. I think right now Bournemouth are on the front foot and they need that time to just get in, reset, get the tactics right, get back the motivation and come out in the second half.
Ball over to the left. Sophie Mallon once again looking to put a cross in. And again, can't quite clear the first defender. But good reply from Southampton here. Haven't let their heads drop after conceding that goal, which is impressive for such a young side. Obviously, their academy.
Do you think, though, Max, I mean, you know, being so young, of course, there will be nerves, but surely there's not much pressure on them. I mean, I'm not to say that there's no expectation, but as a young player coming in, it might be your first final. You know, there shouldn't be too much pressure on these players necessarily.
That's the thing, they say the young players are fearless in the game now. Obviously, it's a big game, the cup final for Hampshire. But they will be looking at this game with an excitement. Can they make themselves a hero? Can they be that player to lift the trophy for the club? You've got to remember, Portsmouth have dominated this competition for years and years now. No one's won this competition in so long that it hasn't been Portsmouth. So this is massive for one of those two teams to write history.
Yeah, definitely. And how fitting is it that we are at Portsmouth Stadium?
Yes, exactly. At Portsmouth Stadium, Fratton Park. They would have expected Portsmouth women to be here, but for the first time in 13 years, that has not been the case. Instead, obviously, Bournemouth versus Southampton. 1-0, 39 minutes gone. Out to Blizzard. Might break here for Bournemouth. Southampton finally cleared their lines. There'll be a goal kick. Lovely skill by the central defender. Seemed like a foul, but the referee waves on. He has let the game flow quite well.
Yeah, I think he's done a good job, but he has been very lenient, though.
Calmly defended by Southampton. So 5 minutes left approximately of this half. Do you think either team can get a goal to put them in the lead, as Bournemouth almost get it through, which would have created a huge chance, but Southampton cleaned up well. Good pace and strength shown by both players. Blizzard comes away with the ball as Bournemouth can attack. And Southampton again nullified the threat for the moment being. Disappointing with Southampton, they defended well in total, cut out a lot of the passes from Bournemouth, but to concede off a set piece in the manner they did.
Yeah, I mean, it's always disappointing to have to concede. And you asked me earlier if I think I could see another goal. Not necessarily, but I think if there is one to come, it most probably will be Bournemouth. I think they found their mojo, if you will. And, you know, they're definitely going to be, you know, given a confidence boost as they head into that halftime break. And Saints will be pretty disappointed because they did start off the better team, of course, getting that early goal. We saw Baird having all these chances of the crosses going in, and they did have a second chance to even, you know, make it two. So, you know, they'll be ruining that, but nevertheless, they're still in it. You know, it's still 1-1, and it's still in anybody's hands, really.
Southampton regaining possession once again. Surin, number 18 in the middle, has been just sitting in front of that defence, sweeping up, and it's been very promising for them. Looks like a good route of solidarity for them. As Daisy Beard once again comes from the right-hand side, jinxing in and out. She offloads it to Kate Jeffrey, who finds Surin. Some nice football being played here. Alicia Buckingham drifts out to the right-hand side, showing her pace and strength once again. She's stronger than her fullback, and the referee draws a foul. It seemed a soft one to you. Fans are not happy.
Yeah, I think the referee was going to let it slide initially, but he went with the decision of his linesman, and the crowd are not happy with that one, Max.
That's the loudest they've been apart for a goal, as you can see, arm to arm. It's a tight one, Lou. Normal Premier League football, that probably is given as a foul, but the referees ref the game in such a way where he's let so much go that to give that as a foul, that seems inconsistent. The Bournemouth will be happy to get the possession back. Southampton looked into a dangerous position here, and they can just get it up the pitch. A bit of rest for 10 seconds.
And that's actually the first time we've seen Bournemouth take a long kick out from the back, Max.
It's just under 1 minute left of regulation time in the first half, in an enthralling encounter between two sides on the south coast.
I think that was actually a fall through there. I'm not sure what the referee gave, but I think it was.
Yeah, I think you're correct, Lou. Foul throw, it's disappointing at any level to concede that.
I think what happens is sometimes you just want to get the ball back in play so quickly that you forget the technique, and you forget that that's even a thing. And you know, it kind of sneaks up on you as a player sometimes.
And Bournemouth, they're in a promising position now. Southampton can just make their way up the field. Be 2 minutes of added time on this half. Can there be one more goal in this half in the added time? Bournemouth looking to get a through ball here. This is unfortunate. Southampton could generate one final chance there, and it is well defended by Bournemouth. It was Amber Trueweek who got the interception there, and important for the team.
Yeah, I think she's been brilliant as well in the back line there for Bournemouth. Composed on the ball, and as well rugged in defence, and you saw it there. So.
Buckingham. As Bournemouth look to get the ball up the pitch. As the referee blows for half-time. Enthralling half of football. Bournemouth 1, Southampton 1, all square at the Hampshire Senior Cup Women's Final. It was Kelly Fripp got the goal for Bournemouth to get them level, and Kaylee Buckingham got a brilliant goal for Southampton. Close range, slightly defective, but good contact and right positioning with a good cross put in. Bournemouth 1, Southampton 1.
Fratton Park and it's 1-0. It's a fascinating game so far, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a really exciting watch. I think both teams have had chances, and I think Bournemouth looked a little bit nervy to begin with, but as the game went on, they settled down and, of course, got the goal not long before half-time. So it is 1-1 here. Peter, I wanted to ask you, what did you think of the standard of football out there? There was some really good football on display.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. The amount of supporters out here, the atmosphere of the game, it was just absolutely breathtaking, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the game so far. It's been played at a good pace.
Incredible.
And we mentioned before the game how some players would need to deal with the occasion. They'd need to deal with the nerves about that. And, of course, we saw towards the end of the first half there a little mistake from the goalkeeper.
Yep.
That's going to happen in these kind of situations.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, with the ground like this and with that kind of pressure. So do
Yes.
you think that they've done well so far to be dealing with it?
Yeah, they definitely have. I mean, getting an early goal and then bouncing back towards the end of the half to make it 1-1.
I've got to say, one person that I've been really impressed with so far has been Alicia Buckingham on the side down here. She's been really direct, taking on her marker every single time and really creating chances. And I think that's where Southampton are getting the most luck, down the side, down the wings, and that's where they're getting the most luck. But where else do you think there's areas that they need to watch out for?
Well, they're going to need to watch out for the number 10 positions. Then they're getting the crosses in. They're doing really well on that side. And we hope the second half will be even more of a thriller.
Yeah, definitely. I think with a situation like this, playing in a stadium where it's not full, but there's certainly noise and you can hear the fans are really getting into it. So I think that's really great for the development of young players, is to fill these kind of situations.
Yes, and it's very much a development for Hampshire FA as well.
Yeah, it's a really great occasion, and I think both teams they're not overwhelmed by the occasion. They've really been sticking to their game, and they played some really nice football at times.
Yeah.
And I know when we were watching it during the game that we mentioned there was a cross from a corner and a volley that nearly went in.
Yeah. It was a bicycle kick coming in, and it just came out from the side post.
And at moments like that, you can hear the crowd getting involved, and you can really hear the buzz and excitement that's going around the ground when moments like that are happening. So
it's fascinating.
In the second half, Peter, what are you looking forward to seeing? What do you want to see from both teams going into the second half?
I've got the same passion, the same amount of emotion, the aggression, and if it does end up being full square again, I wouldn't be surprised with that sort of result, but we shall see.
I think both teams they're going to need to really find some composure and just relax, because when it's a cup final.
Oh, there was a bit of a tension. There was a lot of tension. A lot of looking at my mistakes and all that sort of thing. Yeah.
In a final, I think the team with the best composure, the calmest head, they're usually the ones that come out on top. So that's what we're going to be looking for in this second half. I think is that level of composure.
Definitely.
Well, we are going to go over to Ed Jones now, as he was going to look through some of the replays of the goals.
Thank you, Harry. It was a frantic start to the final here at Fratton Park. The Saints took an early lead. Kayleigh Buckingham got on the end. Buckingham, I do apologise. Got on the end of a strike. It was a toe poke finish. Buckingham, obviously the name everywhere around this weekend with the coronation, but she crowned off a fantastic start to the game for the Saints. They had plenty of chances after that. Southampton's Shurin having a shot. Other players, Shafe as well. Kelly Fripp, I think, put in a solid performance at the back for Bournemouth, and she was rewarded. So a Pale Mortimer drive, I should say, forced a save from Grace Gemman in the Saints' goal. Kelly Fripp led by example to head an equaliser for the Cherries. I think from that point onwards, it's been a fairly even contest, I'd say, from that point. There haven't been too many chances. Alicia Buckingham, she went down with an injury earlier on in the game, but she seems to have recovered. She's back to her usual self. And yeah, it's been a great game so far. It hangs well in the balance in terms of looking ahead to the second half. And now we'll go pitch side to Neil, who's with Vanessa Rainbird from Hampshire FA.
So, Miss Vanessa, a very warm welcome back to your place. You know everything about this FA Cup winner with the Saints and former Portsmouth, I beg your pardon, manager. So, coming back here and seeing the young generation play, how does it make you feel seen from generation to generation? And not to make you feel old, not to make you feel old, but to make you feel like
well, to be honest, that was the first thing that I sort of saw was the fact that they are so young, and I know it's the Southampton RCC team, which is under 23, but the Bournemouth team alike are very young players out there, and it's great. I mean, obviously the progression of women's football over the past few seasons has been brilliant, and long may it continue, obviously.
Ms. Vanessa, it was a long time ago when you had won the FA Cup.
Yes, a long
Again, not to make you feel old by any means, but how do people approach to women's football has changed over the years? I mean, you can see a drastic change for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I won it in '81, so it's an awful long time ago. We played at a place called St Helens Rugby Club, which, we walked out onto the pitch and all we could see was rugby posts, which was amazing. A couple of goal posts in front of it, obviously. But, and we had that game probably about 1,500 people watching us, which was a big crowd in those days. But, when you compare that to what will happen, in the Women's FA Cup, which is a sellout at Wembley, I understand. So, for that to progress so, I say so quickly, it had a sort of quite a slow progress from 80 through to about the 2000s, really, and then I saw a sort of an increase then, and certainly in the last 10 years it's been fantastic, for the England team to do what they've done, and that has, the legacy of that will continue, and there are more girls playing football now than there's ever been. There's more spectators watching Women's Super League games, and for us as sort of old-timer players, it's great to see.
Before we let you go, since the games moved on so fast, there's so much of games happening now in the men's game and the women's game. Do you think the change in infrastructure also in the ladies' game has improved the level of fitness and the quality of game of the girls nowadays?
Well, I think the opportunities are there and much younger. They can start playing football as soon as they can walk and as soon as they can kick a ball, and that was not available in the sort of earlier days. I could join a youth club. I had to join a women's team when I was 12. So that the infrastructure now is such that you can join and play for a Wildcats centre when you're, from the age of 5. So that will only help progress it even further than it is now. So, long may it continue. And a great spectacle tonight. You've only got to watch the game and see the fitness levels of these girls out here tonight. And, they're not full-time players. They're sort of academy players and a team that are playing Tier 4. And that's a great recognition of women's football, so I'm really pleased with the progress.
Thank you so much for your time. It is an absolute pleasure to have you with us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
I have a history. Be my forever family that loves and cares for me. Can you cheer loud on the sidelines? Can you hug me if I lose? Can you help me with my homework? Can you be my mum or dad? Can you be it every day?
Well, that was a quick advert from our sponsors, Adopt South, who are sponsoring the game here today. We are closely approaching the second half. It's been a great first half, as we were talking about earlier.
We were.
And the time is getting near for the second half to kick off. The atmosphere is starting to build up a little bit more as we get ready for the teams to come back out. So, Peter, what's your thoughts going into the second half?
Yeah, so the thoughts are just to keep that aggression going, that passion, the energy, and hopefully we'll see more goals coming up in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're looking behind us here and the pitch is looking pristine. The pitch is looking unbelievable. It's an absolute carpet. And I think that any player would love to play on a pitch like this. So we were saying earlier about how they need to keep their composure and to keep their head in a situation like this. And I think as the later minutes start to go on, that's when we're going to see a couple of nerves starting to show. But hopefully we get as an exciting of a second half as we did in the first half. Yes. But Peter,
again,
go on, give us a prediction. Who are you thinking's coming away with the win?
Oh well, I don't want to be certain bust here, but probably Southampton maybe. But again, both Bournemouth did look a bit nervy, as you mentioned earlier. But we shall see what happens. I mean, it could go either way. It was a very even match, 1-1 at the break. So it's very, very hard to predict. What's your prediction, Harry?
Well, I think Bournemouth, you're right. Bournemouth looked a little bit nervy to begin with. They looked a little bit nervy to begin with, but they settled down, and that goal has done them the world of good. And I think they looked a lot more stable towards the end of that first half.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to need to find a solution to deal with the tricky wide players that Southampton have, because they've really been causing them problems throughout the whole of that first half. So if they want to win, then that's what they're going to need to do.
Yeah.
And I think for Southampton, it's just a little bit more of the same, trying to put that pressure on that Bournemouth backline, and then hopefully we see some more goals here. But it's 1-1 so far. So we are going to head back to our commentary team now with Liu and Max. So we're going to throw back to them right now.
Yes, thank you, Harry and Peter, for that analysis. It has been quite the first half, hasn't it? We've enjoyed it from up here with a great view. And yeah, 1-1. You've got to admit, it's been entertaining. I think we've got some stats to show you guys. Obviously, 1-0. Shots on goal for Bournemouth and Southampton, 6 each. Bournemouth had dominated the corner kicks with 4 and Southampton 2, and that's obviously how Bournemouth got their goal. Southampton 6 fouls to Bournemouth 0. Maybe a ploy, do you think, Leo, to get some fouls in, get ugly? We see it at every level of football. Often lots of fouls is a good thing.
Yeah, and of course, Southampton, as we mentioned, getting away with one. There could have possibly been a red card there for the Southampton defender, but she was lucky to not be sent off for that challenge on Lucy Cooper.
And Katie Scadding for Bournemouth with 4 saves, and Grace Jenman for Southampton with 4 saves. What have you made of the goalkeepers, Liu? Obviously, Grace Jenman had that little scare in the Southampton goal early on, didn't she? The ball went right over her head and got cleared off the line by the defender. But goalkeepers, what did you make of their game so far?
Yeah, I think, I mean, of course, each of them did concede, but they did have some good movements, some good handling off of crosses. We saw punches out from corners. We saw saves from Jenman as well. So I think goalkeeping has been fine. The 2 goals really difficult to criticize or to say that it was their fault that they conceded for their teams.
And for me, for the Bournemouth goalkeeper, Katie Scadding, I think she's been great in goal. And not just the saves she's made, but the coming for crosses has been crucial. I say the Southampton wingers have been putting in some great crosses. As we see the replay of the first goal for Southampton, it was a great cutback and a lovely little finish, and it just deflected off Kaylee Buckingham to go into the goal.
Yeah, and that was the goal there. And of course, the keeper did make contact, and we see the second one here. Great delivery inside, flicked on, and tough again for the goalkeeper.
Very tough. Just seeing some more replays here. Number 10, Alicia Buckingham. She's caused issues for Bournemouth, hasn't she?
Yeah,
playing central, then drifting out to the right quite often.
Yeah, she as well as Baird out on this right backside. They've been causing, linking up well and putting in some good crosses. So we may see more of that in the second half.
The Southampton team just appearing from the tunnel now to commence the second half. Bournemouth still waiting. What do you think the 2 managers are saying to the teams right now? Important 45 minutes coming up, but tactically, what differences do you think might be made?
Well, I think Bournemouth are going to come back and do exactly what they did in the latter stages of that first half, which is put pressure on that defence, use the pace of Lucy Cooper and Gladwell there. I think for Southampton, it's going to be to kind of grow back into the game, gain back that rhythm and that momentum that they had early on. And yeah, we should be in for a great second half.
As Bournemouth now make their way out onto the pitch. Huge 45 for both sides. Crunch time, you could say. A trophy on the line for both. The Hampshire Senior Cup Women's Final is just imminent away. The second half to begin. Southampton, obviously, quick start in the first half, hoping to replicate that again in the second half. And obviously, just to remind you all at home, if it does stay 1-1, there will be no extra time, and it'll be straight to a penalty shootout.
Well, Max, we spoke about the goalkeepers before, and a penalty shootout is definitely going to be the true test.
As we've got a substitute here, Hannah Jeffrey coming on for Alicia Buckingham. Are you surprised by that change?
Well, early on in the half, Alicia Buckingham did seem to have a little injury issue, so I suspect that should be the only reason that she did come off, because otherwise, I mean, she's been brilliant for Southampton so far, so it's highly unlikely that that's a tactical switch.
It's team huddle for Bournemouth. Last minute tactical changes, inspiration given to their players as they hoped to get the winning goal. The crowd up for this one. All in the Fratton end of Portsmouth's ground. Obviously, previously of Premier League football, and now for the Hampshire Senior Cup Women's Final. And obviously the Men's Senior Cup Final tomorrow to look forward to. Action-packed schedule of football on the South Coast. Bournemouth will be the ones to get us underway. Crucial 45 minutes for both, and the prospect of penalties always looming. And we're back under the way. Bournemouth hoofing the ball up into the air, trying to get off to a quick attack. Lucy Cooper now on the near side. Does well. She's been surely held back there, and yes, the referee has given a foul. That was against Sophia Malon, the winger who's had a great game so far.
And another winger who's been having a great game, Lucy Cooper, again immediately into the action and putting pressure on that Southampton defence.
And it truly has just been the story of the wingers so far. Both sides looking like huge threats on the wing. Elkins looking to put a good cross into the box. It looks promising, and oh my word, she couldn't get the shot off. Cross coming back in. Southampton trying to get it away, and they eventually do. It was Amber Tree week for Bournemouth. She just couldn't quite get it under control there, Leo, could she?
Yeah, she couldn't. It was a great opportunity. Actually, I think the defender just getting in the way, although she missed the header, I think kind of threw off Amber a little bit there, and that's probably why she couldn't get the contact that she actually wanted.
And it's another big chance from Bournemouth from a set piece. This is an issue for Southampton, do you think, in this half? Obviously seen one Bournemouth goal go in already, and yeah, another chance from a set piece.
Yeah, it's something that they're going to have to sort out, because, I mean, Bournemouth do have some tall players in the mix. You know, some players who can cause problem and give that aerial threat, so they're going to have to take care.
As a lovely crossfield ball to Cooper comes in. She looks for options, cuts in on the left. Comes back out to Cooper. So cross goes in. Opportunity here. Huge calls for handball by the Bournemouth players and fans. Not given. It's a big shot, and it's another great save. Southampton under real pressure here on the early stages. Liu, what do we make of that?
Yeah, that was brilliant play again from Bournemouth, but what a save there from Genman. I mean, it's a good strike.
And it did seem to strike her hand. I'm not sure you could argue it was an unnatural position, though.
Probably not. Of course, we don't have the benefit of any video assistant referee in here, so we're going to have to go with the on-field call.
The cross is crossed in. Second chance opportunity, and it just goes onto the roof of the net.
But just to go back to that passage of play again, we see the attacking threat of Bournemouth. I think it was 16-year-old Gladwell who got the shot away off on that left foot of his and producing, well, basically causing that save from Genman. World-class save.
World-class save indeed. She's been on it today. She's made a couple of those. And Southampton getting off to a slow start in this half, similar to what Bournemouth did in the first. It's a flick on from Bournemouth. It's another chance from a corner. And then more shouts for handball by the Bournemouth players. They are really on top, but the referee once again waves no. And a really long-range effort hits the bar. What a strike! Oh my word, Bournemouth right now are playing some incredible football. Forcing saves, hitting the bar, handball appeals. It's all going on at the start of the second half at Fratton Park.
It's all kicking off here, Max. I mean, the cup final is producing right now, and Bournemouth are fully up for it.
As we just see this strike again in the replay. What a looping effort that was.
You can't take your eyes off of it, Max. There's action all around.
That was incredible. Can't believe what I've seen. And just as we've shown that replay, Bournemouth were pressing once again, and Southampton looked to have got themselves in a bit of trouble. Southampton need to calm down here. They're a young team, obviously. It just seems a bit frantic at the moment. Almost a great ball across, but The Bournemouth defender does well to intercept. Southampton look to reply with some of their own pressure. Can't quite get the attack to go at the moment. Bournemouth looking to add pressure here. Looks the ball, can't quite control it down there. Ellie Chafe looking to make something happen for Southampton.
Yeah, and Bournemouth have their tails up right now. I think they have their opposition right where they want them. Southampton team look a bit dejected, but
it seems like Southampton have just slightly lost their way in this game, and you can hear the Fratton ends roaring at the moment. All 650 people in attendance today. Some Southampton, some Bournemouth, and I'm sure some Portsmouth fans also here to wish Southampton bad. Let's just say that. Bournemouth got off to a great start, but looking to make a sub here as Clark looks to be entering the field in the next time the ball goes out of play, but counter-attack opportunity here. Cut out by Southampton. Battling hard in the midfield, and a feisty tackle going in right now. Two monster tackles. Got to say, Surin in the middle again involved. Seems like a defensive rock for Southampton.
yeah, as you see it there again, she's working hard. I think she's had a very impressive game for her team so far.
She's the type of player that will never get the praises she deserves. She sits in front of the midfield, but so far has probably been one of Southampton's best players in terms of solidity at the back.
Hidden gem.
As Malon looks to get around her opposition defender, and she does so. And Southampton get the corner kick off Lucy Cooper. She's just got her leg in front of Marlon, but it was well played and a strong, powerful run by her.
Yeah, and Lucy Cooper showing the defensive side to her game there. We've seen her attack, and it's always good to see wingers get back and help out the defense.
So Southampton now looking to score from a corner. A high ball in. It falls, it's a nice shot and just wide. Effort by Kate Jeffrey.
And I must say though, Max, it's a good response from Southampton. I mean, they started off the second half on the back foot. Now they're growing into it, starting to create some more chances.
As Ellie Elkins leaves the field. She's had quite a game, but Molly Clark will now enter. What about Molly Clark then, Lou? What do you make of her as a player?
Yeah, well, Molly Clark, I mean, she's experienced, very experienced player. She was also previously of Portsmouth, 100 appearances. So again, you could see the experience. And similar to her teammate and number 14, Katie James, Molly Clark also plays beach football and has represented Team GB. So it'll be interesting to see how she uses her experience and beach soccer skills to impact this final.
Expecting some skills then, are we, from the beach soccer?
I should also have you know, Max, that she not only plays football for Bournemouth, but actually works at AFC Bournemouth as a women's development officer in the Community Sports Trust.
So Bournemouth now just trying to get back on track. They've had some great early pressure, but the last 5 minutes has seen slight easing up of that. Although chance here, and it's another great sliding tackle. We've seen some monster tackles so far in this game. Both teams really putting themselves about, clearly fighting. The desire to win the cup is flowing through their veins. Katie James on the ball, looking to dink it into the box, but no one quite on the end of it, and it's simple for Grace Genman to get hold of. Hampton looking to pass out the back now. Malon loses possession to number 6, who puts in a nice ball, and it's defended well. She'll get another bite of the cherry though. And once again, it's Surin who gets the ball away, Southampton, and a counter-attack is possible here. Number 9, Kaylee Buckingham on the left in acres of space. Anna Jeffrey making her way into the box. Can she be found? And it's a poor delivery in.
They're going to have to be a lot more creative than that, Max, if they're going to breach this Bournemouth defence. But Cheswick in the back there has been solid. And sorry to say, but she's going to clear those all day long if it's going to keep coming like that.
100%. And it was a promising position once again, and just can't clear the first player. But Southampton once again turning the tide of the tail. Although the score remained 1-0, Bournemouth were heavily on top. They've weathered that storm, as you often have to do in cup finals, and are now looking well in this game. Southampton with another throw-in. Bournemouth players not happy. Helena Meadows throws it in. Kaylee Buckingham couldn't quite flick that over the defender, and Bournemouth will look to counter-attack. It's a nice threaded ball through. She's got players over. Jings in past one. I can't quite get past Sam Corey. And now Southampton can counter-attack. It's end-to-end football right now. Neither team being able to test a goalkeeper, and the Bournemouth goalkeeper is far out of her box. Shooting opportunity Southampton here. And, well, not convincingly saved, but kept out.
Yeah, I think a bit of miscommunication in the back. The keeper was way off her line, and the centre-back played it right into her, but they got away with it in the end.
You do feel the keepers could play a huge part in this game either way. In regular time, obviously, if we have the looming of penalties. Southampton once again in control. The ball in Bournemouth's half. Marlon can't quite keep the ball in though. And it's Bournemouth throwing. Southampton looking to counter-attack. It's a lovely ball played around the corner. She gets the return, and it's great defending. Amber Truick putting in a heroic defensive effort back there. They looked on the ropes there, Liu.
Yeah, they did. And again, the defensive qualities and capabilities of this Bournemouth team showing through. But Saints have responded well, as we said earlier. They have had the balance of possession in the past few minutes. And if I was to say somebody was to score next, I think the pendulum has shifted a little bit, Max, and Saints look to be the more likely.
So it's a game that's ebbed and flowed beautifully. For 5 minutes, Bournemouth will be on top. For another 5, Southampton. Unpredictable. Evenly matched. And the match hangs in the balance. 58 minutes played. Just over half an hour to go in the game. Can either team find a goal? Another crunching tackle goes in. I think it's Kaylee Buckingham that's down. She felt the full force of that one. But they've got an option on the left-hand side here. Sophia Marlon cutting on her right. Elects not to shoot there. That's a shot and is far high and wide. Speculative to say the least.
Yeah, I think what happened there actually, Max, Kaylee Buckingham picked up that injury in the midfield, and they would have wanted her to be, you know, in the middle. I think she had no target there, and that's probably what caused that whole attack to break down.
Do you think there was a bit of frustration in that shot? That things aren't going the way they like it to go? Obviously a young team, so that frustration might show at points.
Frustration and a bit of ambition, probably.
Ambition is one word. As we just see the replay of that tackle, full force. Get a little bit the ball, and the ref decided no foul, as he has for a lot of this game. He's let the play go on, which is good to see. And it's really adding to the spectacle here at Fratton Park. Helena Meadows with the throw-in. And hoofed up the pitch by Bournemouth. Under pressure and just goes, elects for safety. It's a nice press by Bournemouth here. Lucy Cooper with the ball, and it's another great tackle. Again, both teams putting in the work with some brilliant slide tackles, and fair play to the referee, to Michael Patin, because he's let the game flow. As we see it once again, it's a great tackle.
I'll tell you what, Max, those are very frustrating. When you see a defender slide tackle you and they get the ball cleanly, it can be very frustrating to be on the receiving end of it.
A great swing and cross goes in at the back stick, and it's over. A glorious chance for Bournemouth there. She had to score, Liu.
She had to score, but again, Truick, what a ball coming in from that deep midfield position, the centre-back. That was almost inch perfect.
It was Pearl Mortimer, the forward, and she'll be heavily disappointed with that. Just came off her shin, bounced in front of her. What did you make of that chance? An easy one? Difficult?
It did bounce right in front of her, but, I mean, she was completely unmarked.
That's some great skill pulled out. The roulette by Surin as she keeps going and plays it down the line. Anna Jeffrey now off the bench coming forward, and it's intercepted and doesn't get possession of the ball either for the throw-in.
Must say though, Max, I've been really impressed with Amber Truick. I mean, she just won that throw-in for her team there, but I mean, throughout she's been defensively solid. She just put in that ball, creating that chance. And we've seen her playing in the back, composed, you know, just keeping possession for her team. I know I mentioned in the first half that Baird might have been my player of the match, but I think up to this point, it might have swayed to Truick a bit.
So the ball's whipped in, should be dealt with by the goalkeeper, and it's good hands. Southampton will take the throw. The poor kick out by the keeper. Kaylee Buckingham, number 9, opened the scoring for Southampton and will be hoping to get one again. She's been in fine form, helping the club to get to this stage of the competition. As Cooper receives the ball in the half turn, can thread it through, and it's again great defending on this left-hand side. Surin looks to start another attack. She's almost playing that quarterback role at the moment. And Bournemouth in acres of space on this right-hand side. Number 16, Jessie Trewick, puts the ball in, and it's well intercepted. That could have gone anywhere, though. Good cross in.
Yeah, Absolutely brilliant. And actually, the experienced substitute coming on there for Bournemouth, she has been dropping deep in those positions and pulling the strings.
Trewick, who it was who put the ball in. She's a midfielder, but joining the summer, and she likes to get forward into the attack, as you can see just there. Mullin clears, and there's a clear counter-attack for Southampton here. Number 15, Daisy Beard, slots it through. Has the shot, and it's a tame effort by Anna Jeffrey. She should have done better there. A 2-on-2 counter-attack from the corner.
And I was making mention of the impact of the substitution. It is Molly Clark, the number 10, who has come in, and I think she's created some good chances, playing some good passes from in that, calm position, and she seems to be a threat.
As we hear the Saints go marching in from the Fratton end, 65 minutes gone, it's 1-1. Calmly defended by Bournemouth. Sam Corey picks up the ball for Southampton and just lets it go out of play. As we see the shot come in from Anna Jeffrey of the replay. Should have more with that, Lou, don't you think?
Yeah, I think she actually had an option to play a reverse pass because she had a runner on the left-hand side, but she didn't get her head up in time to see. And it was a difficult shot for her in the end.
It was indeed. That's very coolly played here by Bournemouth, and Katie James showing some great composure in the middle. And again, the final ball just lacking. Do you think we're starting to see a little bit of fatigue come into the game, Lou? A long season for both sides, 66 minutes played. Some of the passes not being as crisp as they were at the early stages.
Yeah, fatigue, of course, affecting the players physically and mentally as well. It's difficult to keep your concentration after such a long time, but we can see some players warming up on the far side, so you do expect the coaches to inject some freshness into their initial starting lineups.
Yeah, substitutes could make such a big difference, especially if the games go to penalties as well. We know the importance of having good penalty takers on the pitch, but still a long way to go before that. Can either team get a winning goal here to lift the Hampshire Senior Cup final? It's very coolly played by the Southampton player there. Passing out the back very nicely. Helena Meadows on the ball now. She passes it inside. It's a lovely turn again by Buckingham, and she's causing a threat here. The ball and centre back steps up just in time. And Mullin goes into the tackle. Can't quite win the ball though. That's a threatening crossfield ball. Tries to find Cooper, can't get on the end of that pass. The Bournemouth with a good spell here. Some nice possession on the ball, looking calm. Southampton's press, maybe the fatigue you just mentioned to you, isn't being activated as quick. The players got more time on the ball. Finding life a lot easier right now. So that push in the back. Ref says no. Blizzard wanted it. Although Bournemouth, chance here. Wanting a penalty. She didn't go down though. And it's a good tackle in the end.
I'll tell you what, Max, I think there was contact on Gladwell there, and if she went down, she may have had a case for a penalty.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see this one back. Might have been just out. Can't tell if it's inside or outside the area, but bit of contact potentially. Yeah. Maybe not enough for a penalty. Fair play to her though for staying on her feet. That's all we like to see in the game.
Yeah, and she's been a bright spark in this game. Only 16 years old. I mean, that's pure quality.
Yeah, it's incredible to see like such young talent coming through and causing so many issues on the pitch for the opposition. As another corner is whipped in, it's low and it's a huge miss. The corner again for Bournemouth, causing huge issues at the back for Southampton. And it was more to miss. She can't believe she's missed it. It was another great high looping cross in, and the defence should be dealing with that, but she's got to score.
Yeah, she does have to score there. I mean, it was almost a free header, and she had the whole goal open because the goalkeeper had committed a bit. She'll be disappointed with that one, Max.
Yes, and if Bournemouth were to go on and not win this game, she will be thoroughly disappointed and won't want to watch that one back again, that's for sure. But it's that threat from corner kicks for Bournemouth. It's a key strength of theirs.
Yeah, and it's actually impressive because they are a team that, you know, they have the threat on the set pieces as well as on the counter-attack. So they have options. They're not a one-trick pony. You know, they have diversity in their attack. So it could actually be quite frustrating to defend against a team such as this because, you know, they could switch up the tactic and still be effective.
Yeah, it's been great management so far by both coaches. Just little tinkers in the system, see what works, what doesn't. And Bournemouth now seem to have found a real spark in the game. There's a foul by Mullen, I believe. Surin, sorry.
And immediately, Max, they get the set piece and they immediately flood the box because they know the threat that they have on the set pieces, as you rightfully mentioned.
Southampton need to be aware here as we see the foul back. Quite a soft one.
I think that's the experience of Molly Clark there. Just used her body well, and she knew she was going to get the decision. And she stands over this one as well.
Can she provide for Bournemouth? Cross is put in. And it's a scuffed hit and can't quite fall to the oncoming attacker. And it's another big chance for Bournemouth from a set piece. It was all a bit scuffy there though. Again, Southampton failing to get the first contact on the ball. And Bournemouth really just lack of quality.
Yeah, it seems as if on the set pieces, actually, the Southampton defence are a bit afraid when they see the ball coming in. They're not attacking it, and it's just leaving those aerial gaps for Bournemouth to attack.
Southampton looking to try and get the breakthrough, create another chance. That's a nice ball again. Looking to find some confidence here, knocking it around quite nicely. As Chase picks up the ball. It's a great ball over to Malon. She gets past one, she put a good cross in, she can, it's intercepted, and Bournemouth just get it away, I think. Malon elected to pass it. Could she have gone for goal though? It was unselfish play.
And again, Max, it was Chewick in the back doing the defensive work, a last-ditch stretch there to keep out the Southampton attack.
But you do feel for Southampton, if anything is going to come for them in this game, it will be through Malon. Ball still in play for Bournemouth. Southampton looking for the ball over again. Anna Jeffrey, she looks rapid out there, way quicker than the defenders. But Southampton just need to get that ball over the top to her just right. And it seems that Surin is struggling slightly. Number 18, she's gone to ground. She's been so good for them, Liu. It will be such a shame if she has to go off the pitch here. Holding midfield player, really braked up the play nicely.
Yeah, she has been in the midfield battling it out very well. I think she's actually one of the reasons it's still 1-1, winning back the ball sometimes and even showing some skill when she did that little roulette move, which you rightfully pointed out.
Yeah, she's had quite the game, and it'll be such a shame if she can't see it out due to injury. She's shown leadership today, and you'd assume she would have taken a penalty if it was to come to that. And she obviously would have wanted to see out the full 90 and be there for the team. There's a lot of the Southampton players go over to the coach to get some tactics. We'll see if this helps the team. Bournemouth electing to stay on the pitch. As we see what happened to Surin right here. It was just a big hoof up from her. I don't know, must have pulled something doing that.
Yeah, it could be a bit of the fatigue we mentioned. I mean, being in that defensive midfield position, she's probably done the most running on her team. So it could just be that physical aspect of it catching up on her. I think she should be okay. And she seems to have the desire to press on.
What do you think the Southampton coach, Michelle Uwa, will be saying to her players right now?
Well, being honest, it hasn't been too bad. I think they've gotten back into it ever since that slow start to the first half. They will be pushing for a goal, but in the back of their minds, they'll remember the attacking threat of Bournemouth, and they wouldn't want to leave any gaps. So...
And Surin looks like she's going to be okay to continue, which is good to see, and brilliant news for Southampton. The throw-in about to come in, though. I believe that was a handball. As 18, Surin enters the field once again, and she'll just sit in front of the defence and break up the play. Cooper running on the right-hand side. She can't bring the ball in her strides. The opportunity is still there, though. She tries to utilise her pace, and once again, Southampton defender Helena Meadows does really well. The second half especially, she's done well to nullify Cooper's threat.
Yeah, she's been well. She's been well. She's neutralised Cooper's pace a good bit, because in the first half we saw they got exploited a lot. But again, Molly Clark finding that ball from that deep position into the attackers. I think she's been impressive since coming on.
It's nice player Southampton to get out of trouble there. The nutmeg. As Anna Jeffrey runs forward with the ball. Plenty of space out here on the right-hand side. Cross needed to come in. And straight into the keeper's grasp.
You think teams now starting to lack a bit of creativity, Max? I mean, we haven't seen too much intricate football for a little bit.
Yeah, it seems they're both industrial at the moment, both putting themselves about, really trying to find something. But you're right, the creativity hasn't been there, especially the last 10, 15 minutes. Just need someone to take the game by the scruff of the neck, you feel. Really get the grips of the game and hopefully find a winner. And could it be here with Bournemouth coming on the right-hand side? Low ball put in and straight into the keeper's grasp. Plenty of space out here for Meadows. Slightly overruns it. It's a good pass, and it's gone out of play. Mallon couldn't quite keep that ball in, and it's a sloppy turnover from Southampton. And there's a foul to Bournemouth. Well won. Good skills shown.
And Molly Gladwell again, Max. And she's really impressed out on that wing. Her pace, her skill, her determination. And you mentioned it earlier in the first half as well. That's the determination, fearlessness of the youth.
Yes, at just 16. And Cooper could get on the end of this. It's well defended at the back post. And it's another issue for Southampton in the back from a free kick or corner. Is it just brilliant deliveries from Bournemouth, or do Southampton need to wake up?
I think a bit of both, actually. The deliveries have been good, but as I did say, you know, they haven't been attacking the ball really, have the Southampton defence. And, you know, coming into the last 11 minutes of this game here, I don't think any team is going to want to concede, because that's definitely going to dampen their spirits.
So counter-attack possibly forming for Southampton. Anna Jeffrey looking to run onto this and get the best of her defender, and it's pulled back for the foul. Do you expect Southampton to try to put this one into the box? Put the keeper under some pressure?
Yeah, they definitely should.
as we see all the fouls given for there. And yeah, just a late tackle. Eyes on the ball, but none of it was won. Abby Jones lifts the ball into the box. Cleared away from Bournemouth. Bournemouth looking to get away now. Next goal will be crucial, you feel, could be the winner with just 10 minutes left in this final. Just a reminder for all of you at home that the game does go straight to penalties if it is still a draw at full time.
And coming into these last 10 minutes here, Max, do you think that any of the coaches will be, playing for the penalties?
I think they both think they can win it. I don't see any reason why either side doesn't think that. They'll both come away disappointed if they don't. As we see, sadly, again, Surin has gone down with that injury she got. Looks like the bottom of her calf, I think. Sad to see, especially so close to full time, but wishing her the best.
And also for penalties, Max, in recent times there have been a lot of times where, managers bring on a player just for the penalties, with little to no match time, really. Do you
already are more tuned into the game? As sadly, Surin does have to leave the field and is replaced. And it's number 19, Calla Swain, that replaces Surin. Big boots to fill. Bournemouth playing around the edge of the penalty area. It's good foot in by Southampton, and a counter-attack is possible here. Will they flood the bodies forward? Will they risk it all? And it's a late challenge. Referee says she got the ball. I'm not sure about that one, do you? It was Cooper with the challenge. Arlen passes back to Corey. Corey into Jeffrey. He finds Mallon, and it's cut out for a Southampton throw.
That was a strange decision from the referee there. I'm almost sure.
Having another look at it right now. Does she get any of the ball?
Oh, all player.
Oh,
I thought he was going to play the advantage and bring it back, but
no foul given. Interesting choice. Southampton will have another throw. We see Bournemouth just preparing a change. Maybe one final throw of the dice. See if they can get anything in these closing moments of this match. Southampton in dangerous positions at the moment, but struggling to test the keeper. The game's gone into another bit of a lull, really. But Southampton not looking awful, but can you see a goal coming from anywhere?
Nah, no real threat. As you said, it's crisp, clean football, but in areas that aren't really a threat to the Bournemouth defence. I think if this one does go to penalties, of course, for the neutral viewer, it's going to be a good one. I'm not sure how many people in the stands are neutral viewers. Of course, they would have come with an agenda of which team they were going to support. But it's going to be difficult to call. And if I'm being honest with you, Max, I can't see a goal coming from anywhere before the 90 is up.
Still a crucial 5 minutes with added time. As Southampton look to threaten now. Couldn't quite get it. They're still threatening here on the edge of the box. Cross about to come in. Big chance, and she did not get quite the right contact on the header. It seemed to almost hit her head rather than her head it.
Yeah, that was a big chance. Free header, I mean, it was far out, but I was almost wondering if she could have maybe taken it down and had a volley.
Yeah, it seemed that Marlon almost just didn't expect the ball to come to her. As Cooper running down the right wing, can't get a touch on the ball. First time Bournemouth have come into the Southampton half as the referee pauses the game for a Bournemouth substitution. And it's Jess Trueek who comes off, and Caitlin Elliott replaces her in the midfield. Bournemouth looking for any opening here. You feel that if they could just shoot and win a corner, that could be their best route back into this, oh, to win this game, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it would be almost, you know, what's the word? Clumsy, if you want to put it that way, or irresponsible of the Saints' defense to give away any set pieces. You know.
As this calm play, sorry to interrupt you, from the centre back there, Helena Meadows, and she finds a great ball out to Sophie Mallon. Can she find a cross? It's dangerous. Calls for a penalty, tame calls though.
I said clumsy or irresponsible there, Max. I think those were a bit harsh. I think they would have meant to say was careless for them to give away any sort of set pieces so late on. You know, this Bournemouth team have that threat, and you don't want to concede in that way at all.
Southampton having the best of the late chances. Another cross comes in, flicked on just over the bar. Kaylee Buckingham looking to add to her first goal, and that surely would have been a winner.
Surely would have been a winner. And Kaylee Buckingham again showing that forwards instinct. She just got ahead of the goalkeeper. Ooh, it was actually some brave play because she nearly got hit in her head.
The player that has so often come to Southampton's rescue almost came to it again and scored the winning goal, but it wasn't to be. But is there time for one more chance for either of these teams to score and to prevent penalties and win the Hampshire Women's Senior Cup? 3 minutes of regulation time remaining. Bournemouth again hitting the free kick long. Southampton eventually deal with it. Nana Jeffrey looks to press, as she's done all second half so well. And it's a really poor touch from Smith, who could have chased the ball. It wasn't going out, she didn't realise it. And it should be easy enough for Southampton to clear. Good hold-up play by Jeffrey. Looking for options here. That'll be a Southampton throw. Bournemouth players again not happy with the decision.
These are the moments, Max, where you have to keep your head. You don't want to do anything too rash, don't want to make any mistakes or anything that could lead to any sort of chance.
100%, be the hero.
You could almost feel the intensity on the pitch from the players. They're screaming. You know.
It's gone up a level, the intensity, as you said, the nerves as well. The calls for every foul, they're being overexerted to what we haven't seen so far in this game. Can any player find that winning goal and write their name in history? Southampton trying to threaten on the counter-attack once again, but it's that final ball through. It's not quite been on the money for them this half. But the energy levels, I've got to say, from Anna Jeffrey up front have been brilliant, putting real pressure on the Bournemouth back line.
Yeah, she has been really good ever since coming on. Ooh, and it seems to be a head injury there. I'm not sure who's the player on the ground, but she is holding her head. Steve Cuss looks a bit concerned, but she's getting back up to her feet there. Looks like it was the 16-year-old Gladwell, I think, who collected that knock, but she's back up and running.
And there'll be 4 minutes added time, just 4 minutes for either side to find the winner here. One final goal surely will win it for either side. As the fourth official shows the 4 minutes put on the board. Southampton looking for one final chance. They will hope it falls to Kaylee Buckingham. She's been so clinical throughout this tournament and the league for Southampton. Can she get one more opportunity? But Southampton on top of you, how much forward do they commit? Do they go for the win in the final 3 minutes?
I think both managers at this point in time, given the way the game is going, I would be playing for the penalties. I really wouldn't risk doing anything too exposing that would leave gaps in that defense, because, you know, it's just not worth it. And although penalties is a gamble, it's also a gamble to commit too much forward and lose the game.
And the game coming to a close, just 2.5 minutes left for you. Who has been your player of the match so far?
There have been a lot of bright shining stars on the pitch today, but as I mentioned, I think Amber Truick in that centre-back position for Bournemouth has been brilliant. She's cut out everything that's come her way. I mean, they have conceded, but I mean, I think she's been really good, composed on the ball, as I've been saying, throughout the 90.
Southampton put a final cross in.
Yeah,
and
so
Sophia Marlin can't just quite get the head on that again. But she's looked the most threatening, just can't get that final end product. As it's played through, big chance for Southampton here, and Anna Jeffrey couldn't quite get the ball under her control to get the shot away. But that was a big chance for Southampton.
yeah, I think it was Hannah Jeffrey. She saw the trophy in her eyes, but it was good defending in the end from Bournemouth.
And Bournemouth have a chance here. They haven't really been in the game in the last 5 minutes, but if they could get a goal here, oh my word, the scenes. And it's a great ball across. Can they get rid? They can. Frantic defending at the back for Southampton. Bournemouth, with 1 minute left on the clock, looking to try and snatch a last gasp winner. And the ref has given a Southampton goal kick from that. Very calmly done by Southampton in these dying minutes. Nerves aren't showing for these young players. It's a really nice build-up here, but Bournemouth intercept it well. And it's a poor cross in. And that is full time. We are going to penalties. It's been an enthralling match of football. Twists and turns. But it does end 1-1. Kelly Fripp got the first goal for Bournemouth, equalising against Southampton in the first half. And it was, of course, Kaylee Buckingham who opened the scoring for Southampton. It's been a tight cagey affair at times, but also end-to-end. Lou, any final words on what you've just seen and predictions for penalties?
Predictions for penalties, difficult to call. I mean, we've been seeing the form of the keepers throughout the game. We haven't seen their penalty potential as yet, but you do think that they have been sharp throughout the game. So I think both of them will definitely be on it. I don't think I can give a prediction to you there, Matt.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? It's been an enthralling game of football, but it does end 1-1.
Oh.
So penalties obviously just coming up. Both teams will be shooting towards the fans and all 650 of them up there. Southampton will be hoping to get the win. Bournemouth will be hoping to get the win. But it comes down to penalties. It's always a harsh way to lose, but a great way to win.
Yeah, especially in a final like this. I mean, as I said, value for your money if you came here. It's really been an exciting final, one that we like to see finals in the balance. You hate to come to a cup final where it's like completely one-sided and it's almost as if, what's the point? But two evenly matched teams, and we'll see how it all plays out in the tiebreaker, which is the penalty shootout.
And we know whatever happens here, it won't be a Portsmouth win this year in the Women's Hampshire Senior Cup final, as it has been for the last 13. So going to be historic for either of these teams. A rare trophy.
I know we spoke a lot about, Max, the youth on these two teams and the nerves, and well, we mentioned that there may not necessarily be pressure, but of course at any level in any final, penalty shootouts are always pressure moments. I mean, your penalty could be the decider. How do you think the players, what do you think is running through the minds of players like Gladwell, who's had a good game, but I mean, this one moment could define the whole final?
It depends on the attitude of the player, you've got to say. For some, nerves, don't want to lose it. But for others, I could just imagine Kayleigh Buckingham, her mentality in football will be, I can score the winner for my team here. I can help my team win the cup. So it'll be a mixture, but it'll be interesting to see both young teams. So will the nerves be jangling? We will see. As the first penalty taker does step up. It is Katie James on the ball. Huge moments here at Fratton Park.
And I can't let you know that Katie James and I share the same birthday, Max.
So you're wishing her some good luck, are you? Katie James steps up, and it's a coolly converted penalty.
Yeah, it's a great penalty.
A bit of taunting to the keeper at the end. I don't know about that, but it's one of those. She's delighted with the scoring of that penalty.
A bit of banter there, but seems as if Grace Genman took it well, so good sportsmanship shown from the Saints goalkeeper.
And it is a scorer, Kayleigh Buckingham, stepping up for Southampton for the first penalty. Kayleigh Buckingham versus Katie Scadding in goal. Oh, and it just goes in. Buckingham hit the penalty hard and low. You've got to say it was a good penalty. But the Bournemouth keeper, Scadding, she'll be disappointed she didn't save that. A huge moment in the penalty shootout.
Yeah, she guessed right, but it just had so much venom behind that strike, and she just couldn't get enough fist on it to keep it out of the net. And it is the experienced Molly Clark stepping up now to take Bournemouth's second penalty, and the crowd goes absolutely silent with that one.
You can feel the nerves in here. Players, coaches, and the fans. Clark versus Genman. She turns her back to the penalty. Takes a run up. And it's a brilliant penalty. Put her laces through it. And she is roaring the crowd on here. She feels confident. And why wouldn't you after that brilliant strike?
What a strike. And that's the experience of Molly Clark. Just look at that. Composure.
Full focus. She knew exactly where she's putting it and did that job. And it sneaks in again. What do we make of that, Liu? Well, the goalie has to be disappointed there.
She has to be disappointed. That's 2 in a row, Max, where she's gotten some sort of contact, but just not enough to keep it out. That has to be frustrating as a goalkeeper.
And it's not great penalties from Southampton. It was still, they've scored 2, but you do wonder.
But Southampton aren't going to care.
They won't care, but is it just showing some inexperience, the nerves? As I say, full silence once again. She steps up to take the kick. Straight down the middle, coolly converted. Blizzard, she came on as a sub, and she converts the penalty. Look at the focus on her face taking that one. Coolly as you like. The pressure on Southampton now. And it's a poor penalty. Poor penalty. Katie Scanning with the save. Finally gets a good hand on it. And Sophia Malon, she will be devastated with that. She had such an impressive game. Looked brilliant on the wing, but of course it's poor penalty, Liu.
Yeah, it is a poor penalty, but I'll tell you what, it's brilliant goalkeeping as well, and it seems as if Katie Scanning is taking matters into her own feet.
On the penalty, the goalkeeper takes it and smashes it in. Wow, oh wow, you don't see that very often. A goalie taking a penalty so early on in the shootout, and she is lapsing it up from the crowd. She goes back in her own net to defend the next one. And she just launches it again, basically down the middle, slightly to the left.
I mean, what a story. Save a penalty, score a penalty.
Exactly. And there was criticism on her for had a few she could have saved, then saves one and then scores one. Heroic efforts from her.
The reverse of the commentator's curse.
Exactly. Southampton need to score this. And it's a coolly taken penalty. They're still in this game. Daisy Beard puts it in. And it comes down to this. And it's Pearl Mortimer stepping up for Bournemouth. And there was a poor penalty saved by the Southampton keeper, but no conviction. No conviction from Mortimer there.
No conviction at all. I think she was under pressure. She knew that that was the winning penalty. But credit to the goalkeeper as well for guessing the right way.
She did well, stood her ground. And this game just has more twists and turns in it. As Southampton step up, she needs to score this penalty. Penalty, and it's coolly done, and we're all level on penalties. Wow, the drama does not end here, Liu. Sudden death penalties.
It seems as if the drama has just begun, Max.
We could be here all night at this rate. Smith steps up for this penalty. Great penalty. Conviction in the strike. Pressure on Southampton once again. As Sam Corey steps up for the Southampton penalty next. Katie Scadding will be hoping to make the save and win this game for her team. A lot of Bournemouth fans in the building tonight, hoping to see their side win the cup final. And it comes down to this. And it's another good penalty. The shootout does not end here. Sam Corey with a brilliant penalty, and she had a great game today as well. Thoroughly deserved.
Yeah, she definitely did. What a penalty. And somebody else who did have a great game as well. And it's Amber Truick who's going to be stepping up to take this one for Bournemouth.
The drama never ends at Fratton Park this evening. Short run up. And it's saved! And it's huge. The Southampton players thought they'd won it. They still got to score. Big, big save by Southampton. Grace Gentleman with it.
What a save, and she was even able to hold on to it. So if it was a game in the 90s, that would have been a brilliant save.
As Helena Meadows steps up. This penalty will be to win it. Does she look confident, Liu? What are we saying?
She does look pretty confident. She's walking up with a proud strut.
Helena Meadows versus Katie Scadding for the Hampshire Senior Cup final. And it's saved again! This game does not end. The drama. Two of the Southampton players are going up to Meadows to say, make sure she's all right. But this game, Lou, what are we making of this?
This is brilliant. This is a cup final, Max.
I was going to say it might get to the keeper taking a penalty, but one of the keepers has already taken one.
Yeah.
And we're all level again.
But you do have to say, Max, that the penalty shootout is reflecting the match on a whole. I mean, there was so little to separate these two teams, and as you could clearly see, it's going to take a little to do so.
As a roar from the Bournemouth crowd at Fratton Park roars around the stadium. Can they put the pressure on the Southampton team? She steps up, and it's a lovely penalty, coolly converted, bottom right, pressure Southampton. Can Katie Scadding make another save and win the final for her side? And it's Kate Jeffrey, the captain, stepping up for Southampton. Responsibility on her arms. She wants to be the one to lift this trophy. But to do so, she will have to score this. Otherwise, Bournemouth will win. As Jeffrey steps up, and it's a good penalty. We carry on. Composure from the captain, Liu.
Composure from the captain, indeed, Max. And her teammates come to meet her. And Kate Scadding is going to place the ball here for her teammate to take the penalty to put the pressure back onto Southampton RTC.
Pressure penalty, steps up, coolly converted. Southampton, pressure's back on them.
I must say, Max, since we've gone in deeper in the penalty shootout, of course, other than the misses, the quality of penalties have been absolutely brilliant. The placement has been pretty good.
They've surprisingly gotten better as the penalties have gone on, I've got to say. I don't know if the pressure got to the early kickers, but right now, penalties of a good quality. Southampton step up, must score, and it sneaks in! Katie Scadding will be gutted. She hasn't gotten up off the ground just yet. She knows that was a savable penalty, and the Hampshire Senior Cup final was there for the taking. The ball just snuck under her. And you can see the passion in her eyes and celebration.
And it is 16-year-old Gladwell to come up and take this one. She's had a great game.
Great game.
Let's hope she could put the cherry on top.
She steps up. It's a good penalty again. These penalties are just getting better and better. What we are seeing at Fratton Park right now is drama to the highest extreme. As the goalie now has decided to take the penalty for Southampton. This is big. Grace Jenman. She's made a couple saves in the penalty shootout. What do you reckon she's like at taking them?
I don't know, but she has had a brilliant game within the sticks.
The keeper
between the
has
sticks
to save to keep them in the game. And it's another good penalty. The goalie is so coolly taken. Oh my word. Wrong foot's the opposition goalkeeper. As Lucy Cooper steps up to take this penalty. She's had a brilliant game, probably one of the most threatening players for Bournemouth. Can she convert? Steps up. I can't believe what I'm seeing, Lee. I can't believe it. This reminds me of that Carabao Cup final against Chelsea versus Liverpool, and went all the way to the goalies. We've already got to the goalies. Both of them are taken.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at this rate, Max, we really will be here all night. Might have to go down to the coaches at some point.
Yes, hopefully they don't lock the gates outside the stadium and realise the game is still going on. But this is why we love penalties in football. The tension, the nerve. And Southampton once again shooting to stay in the match. Ellie Schaaf steps up. And she misses, and it is Bournemouth that win the penalty shootout. And look at the celebrations. Congratulations, Bournemouth. Commiserations, Southampton. What a game. Look at the passion from them. It finished 1-1, but it was Katie Scadding with the winning penalty save. Incredible scenes.
Incredible scenes indeed, Max. I mean, what a penalty shootout. Again, a tough loss to take for Southampton, as you could see. They're consoling their teammate there. But she shouldn't be too disappointed because they had a brilliant performance. I mean, always tough to take a loss, but credit to both teams and congratulations to Bournemouth.
Exactly. A young side, Southampton. A good learning curve for them. And it was a great save by Katie Scadding in the end. But congratulations, Bournemouth. Thoroughly deserved. The game could have gone either way, but they did brilliant from 1-0 down to get it back from that corner kick routine. They always took a threat from set pieces. And just look at the passion in the celebrations. Geeing up the crowd. Good sportsmanship as well being shown. Going over to the opposition players, consoling them. And there you just see the huddle. A great game of football. A great spectacle here at Fratton Park. Obviously a huge ground and a huge match of football.
Yeah, I mean, how many players can go home and tell their families they won a cup final at Fratton Park, you know? And especially, as we did mention, you know, all of these young players, Scadding, well, what a performance she had throughout the 90, but I mean, everything that's going to be spoken about is that penalty performance. Yeah. Scoring and saving and eventually leading her team to victory.
So, final score of the game was 1-1, but AFC Bournemouth edged out Southampton on penalties, 9-8. Back to you, pitch side.
Well, what can we say about the finish to that match? Wow, what a penalty shootout. The score was 9-8, I think, in the end. It just seemed to go on and on and on. But there were some really good penalties in there and some really close attempts at saving it from the goalkeepers. But in the end, Bournemouth are the Hampshire Cup Women's Champions. So, boys, talk to me about the game, talk to me about the second half, and, of course, that incredible penalty shootout.
Well, I think the game itself, the second half, it probably didn't live up to the standards of the first half. The first half was quite a frantic start to the game, plenty of chances either way. I think in a weird kind of way, it kind of, Bournemouth equalising kind of steadied it a little bit. I think tactically from that point onwards, it was really interesting to see both managers kind of, whilst they threw caution to the wind in the first half an hour, I think they kind of, thought, let's not lose this, let's not lose it. So for it to go to penalties, it's become such an iconic thing in football, penalty shootout. But at the end of the day, if you're the loser, if you don't, it's great, great way to win it. But if you come off that pitch having not won it, especially if you missed the penalty, I do feel for Ellie Chafe there. She had a great game, but to miss that, it was, it's disappointing.
Well, it's something that we talked about at half-time, wasn't it? We said that people need to keep their head, keep their composure. And then being in a situation like that in a penalty shootout, it's almost impossible to keep your composure in that kind of situation. But, I mean, the penalties that we saw, the quality was incredible. All of them were in the corner pretty much. I mean, the keeper got their hand on a couple, but overall it was just an incredible standard of penalties. And I think the whole game itself has been a really great standard. But I think Bournemouth will be extremely happy to come away as champions. But I wanted to ask you, what do you think, other than, of course, the penalty, what do you think is the defining moment of this match?
I think that's it, that Bournemouth goal, because at one, obviously Southampton started the game well, took the early lead through Buckingham. I think they looked probably the more likely to score, and they looked probably the more likely to score at the end as well. It's just that kind of passage of play that allowed Bournemouth back into it. They have a quick chance, a low drive, the keeper makes a good save, and then they score from the resulting corner. I think if Southampton could have got through that little period of the game well, I think they'd have gone on to win it, potentially. Well, I think they'd have won it in the end. But yeah, no, Bournemouth, fair play to them, they dug in, obviously got themselves back into the game, saw it out tactically in the second half, and yeah, it's come up trumps them on penalties. Well done to Katie Scudding in goal.
I mean, we can't say that this game hasn't had entertainment. I mean, we've seen goals, we've seen a penalty shootout, one of the longest penalty shootouts that I've ever seen. I'm not sure about you guys. But honestly, I think it's just a credit to the Hampshire Cup, because this was a wonderful occasion. And I think Bournemouth, we said in the first half, didn't we, that Bournemouth they were struggling a bit with the wide players, but I think they really did manage to get a handle on that in the second half. And it was a lot more cagey in the second half. But, I mean, we can hear what it means to the fans. And there are 650 people here tonight, which is fantastic. It is fantastic, 650 people, and you can hear them cheering as Bournemouth lift the trophy behind us.
Yeah, they're going to lift it any second now.
Any second now, the trophy will be lifted.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful, shiny trophy that they have got their hands on. And you can hear it now.
I just done it.
There we go. The celebrations at Fratton Park here. I'm sure that they'll be celebrating late into the night.
They will.
They will definitely.
They will definitely be, yeah.
So, Peter, when you were watching the game, what was the moments for you that stood out?
Well, I mean, the whole second half wasn't as big as we made it out it would in the half time. The 67th minute, there was a chance for Bournemouth to actually win the game outright, but they didn't. But it's not been that big of a bit of a second half. But they've definitely pulled it back with the penalties. It was just an exciting, nervy watch, wasn't it?
I think seeing when we look behind us and we see the players receiving their medals and we hear them getting the applause from the fans, it really shows you what these kind of games are all about, and it gives them that experience to go on and kick on in their career. So Ed, how much will they take from a game like this, playing in front of a crowd at a stadium with as much history as this stadium does? What will they take as players going into their career?
I think they'll take a great deal from it. When you look before the game, a lot of those players from both sides, they're very, very young for footballers. Some 16, 17-year-olds. They've got basically their whole career ahead of them. So to play at a ground like this in front of a good crowd, a big occasion, the Hampshire Senior Cup, I think it's going to stand them in great stead. And obviously, like I mentioned pre-match, the pathway that women's football is on now. I know both clubs look at that, the pathway into the first team, the pathway beyond that. Yeah, I think it's a really great thing for football, especially locally.
Yes, and they've lifted the trophy, and they've done extremely well in this competition. Yeah.
I think for the fans, you can just hear. I'm not sure if you can hear it but certainly here we can hear what it means to them. We can hear throughout the whole game. It was a lot of friendly banter. There was a lot of friendly banter between the fans, and you could really hear what it meant to them when the goals went in. And even though there's only 650, I mean, we say only, that's quite a lot.
Yes.
But then tomorrow, of course, we will be covering the men's final, and there's expected to be 650 fans from one team coming for that one. So we will be back here tomorrow night where you can see that as well. And I'm sure we'll see similar scenes to this, where it's just, there's jubilation at the moment because they've played so hard throughout the season, and now they've finally got to where they wanted to be, and a bit of silverware at the end. But for these players, how much does silverware do for their career? How much does it, like having that as a team, that experience of winning a trophy? What do we think? Do we think that that's important for a young player?
Yeah. Well, it's a bit of so good. I mean, Molly Clark, Bournemouth player, she used to be at Pompey for many, many years, and she's come here on the full ground to win the game. She's in the ground and she knows the club quite well. She's just come back to halt them.
Yeah, she has. I mean,
she definitely has.
It's a great venue for it, and I think it really has been a wonderful, wonderful occasion. And we're just looking behind us as well. The setup with all of the players receiving their medals, receiving the trophy. It's really good to see scenes like this. So Ed, I just want to come to you with another question. So throughout the game, there was a few chances in the first half. It was a lot more end to end. What did you notice about the way the team set up for the second half that changed their approach?
I think it was just, it was all on the line. It was all in the balance. I think at half time, 1-1. I think both teams kind of went with a cautious approach, I'd say, to the second half. I think obviously you don't want to lose it. I think it was, like you say, it was very end-to-end first half. But yeah, I think it's tricky for Southampton. Obviously they probably had the better chances in the second half. That's the way it's gone. The game's gone to penalties. Unfortunately, they've lost it. But I've got to say, the conduct from the players during that penalty shoot, I think, was brilliant. Obviously, they were very good at trying to sort of get the crowd going. But I loved the way that every time a player missed or the penalty was saved, the teammates were straight over trying to console them. And I think it's very rare in football that we see that. So it's great to see. It really is.
No, it really, and that is something that I noticed as well, was when there was you see in some of the games in the World Cup this summer, there was a lot of teams trying to put the other team off during penalty shootouts. There was none of that here today. It was played in a really good spirit, and I think that comes from the fans as well. I think it's been a really excellent occasion, and we're just looking over here, and the trophy lift is still going on. The Bournemouth players having an amazing time over there, and why shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Why shouldn't they?
Really, really good.
So I think we can hear them there. The trophy has just been lifted towards the Fratton end, where all the fans, the 650 fans, are packed into tonight. And you can hear what it means to the Bournemouth fans. The applause ringing round Fratton Park at the moment.
Definitely.
But it's been a wonderful, wonderful match. And Peter, I want to ask you, when you're watching a game like this, when you're seeing what it means to these young players at the beginning of their career, what do you think that they can go on and achieve after already winning silverware at such a young age? What will that do for their confidence?
It'll be a massive deal for their confidence, and they've got the whole up ahead of them. They can now stay at the club, Bournemouth side anyway, to get more silverware next year. But it's just an absolute atmosphere, and to get this many players, the tendencies coming in, watching the game tonight, has been an absolute boost, considering the amount of women's football that has grown over the last couple of years, especially in the Euros. So to get this sort of thing happening, brilliant, and hopefully we get more next year.
So, Ed, what I want to talk to you about here, because when we were looking at the penalty shootout, it was going on for a long time, and we were saying to ourselves, how can they deal with this kind of pressure in front of the Fratton end, one of the most famous ends in English football, and dealing with that pressure? What do you reckon's going through their head in that moment? How do you compose yourself in a situation like that?
I mean, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. Obviously, not had much of a playing career myself, can't lie. I think it's just that it's a fairly simple thing, isn't it, when you think about it, taking a penalty, but it's just all the psychology behind it, isn't it, and the pressure. And I think when you're kind of deciding, I think people assume that when you decide who's going to take the first five, it's the strikers, the goal scorers that take them, but it can be anyone. I think when it gets to a stage like this where it's 9-8 at the end, 11 or 12, I think penalties were taken from both teams. You go through the whole squad and there's players, both goalkeepers took one. There's players in there who would necessarily have put themselves first to take it. So I think it's a tricky one for all players, and like I say, I feel for the players that didn't.
Well, we're going to have to cut you off there because we have the Bournemouth manager with us now. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Tell us how that feels.
Yeah, obviously it's very nerve-wracking. It goes to that length of penalties. It's just sad that someone's got to lose that way. Southampton are a very good young side, and it's heartbreaking to lose that way. But it was our day today, and all I can give is a huge amount of praise to my players. I thought they were good during the game. I thought the first 20 minutes we were a little bit disorganised and found our way into the game, but I felt that we had the better chances in the game, and yeah, it's gone all the way to penalties to take us to win it. But absolutely delighted, so proud of the players for their performance tonight.
Yeah, and going back from the first half, obviously Southampton scored early on. How did you recover from that to get a goal in the late into the first half, into the half time?
Yeah, in fairness, I thought Southampton caused us a few problems in that first 20 minutes. We didn't quite get our setup quite right. We got a little bit overloaded in the midfield, and it allowed them to have a lot more of the ball. But I always felt that we had a threat going forwards. I thought, with the pace of our front three in behind, that we always had a bit of a chance there. And I thought once we organised ourselves and just understood exactly what we were looking to do in terms of position without the ball, we stopped their threat a little bit, and then it continued on. And yeah, I thought we would look like the team that were going to score in the second half, but couldn't quite get the goal. And then you get the drama of the penalties.
So the age of your squad is quite young on average. What does this do for their confidence and then pushing them on in their career to win a silverware at a place like this?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic for them. Not the opportunity to play at Fratton Park, play in the final. A lot of 16, 17, 18-year-olds out there, and I must admit, when they were taking penalties, I was fearing for them in terms of I don't want one of my players to be the one that missed it, but they held their nerve, and there were some good penalties taken as well, so really proud of them. Could have gone either way with the penalties, but their performance was worthy of winning the game, I thought.
Yeah, and one more question. Molly Clark, we've mentioned her a few times across the whole show. She was obviously a pumpy player. And her and Jay also played here before, so that must have helped.
Yeah, absolutely. I think not only the help that they've played here before, but just the fact they've got experienced players. We mentioned there we've got a lot of young 16, 17, 18-year-olds to have that experienced players around them just to settle them down, particularly in that first 20 minutes, and then go on from there. But yeah, we introduced Molly. Molly's a quality player, and obviously been injured of late, but worked hard to get herself fit for tonight, and came on and did very well. And Katie James, I thought, was superb right the way throughout the game as well in that midfield row.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Well done.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, I'm right.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the win today. So tell us how it feels.
Unbelievable. I don't think we can explain it.
I don't think, well, to put it into it, when we came across Pompey in the semi-final, you look at them in the higher opposition, and we had to graft, and we did that in the semi-final, and I think we've done that today as well. We've come up against an organised Southampton side who we knew were going to match us with fitness and our work ethic, and credit to them because they put on a performance. But penalties is never a nice way to go out, but when you win, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and so you were 1-0 down to start with, and got back towards the end of the first half. How did you manage to get that confidence up for the second half? You almost won it in the second half. So how did you manage to do that?
Well, I think we just had to, we regrouped and we went back in at half-time and said, we're not losing here, girls, although they came out strong, going 1-0 down is never easy. You don't want to go 1-0 down, especially against a team like Southampton, so we could have dropped our heads then, but we obviously were lucky to get a goal back. And then we just regrouped, come out the second half and said, look, girls, we're not losing here, so we can still win this. So we came back out strong, and yeah.
We saw how much it meant to you during the penalty shootout. We saw you interacting with the fans as well. What's it like, the experience like playing in front of fans at a ground like this? How's that going to help your career progress?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The support we've had on and off the pitch from the club and the supporters has just been immense, especially in January. We dropped a few points that we should have got, and they've really helped us pick up. I know everyone says it and it's cliche, but they really are a 12th man. And, for them to come out on a Tuesday night, quite a few miles away from home, we couldn't ask for anything more. Yeah,
exactly.
We really appreciate it.
I think when you're used to when you played like down the park on a Sunday with hardly anyone there, just your parents or whatever, to then play on a pitch like this with loads of fans, you just feel so blessed, and it's amazing.
If you could pick one moment from the game that you think changed it, what would you say is the moment that really got it going for you guys again?
Scatter's penalty save. I don't know. I think the first 20 minutes we were a bit sloppy, but like I say, I think we just managed to regroup, and the last few months we've been playing really well. So I think we just managed to get back to that, and just I think we've got quite a few experienced players. Obviously Southampton, they're quite a young side, brilliant side, nothing against them, but they're quite young. So we've got quite a few experienced players. Obviously Helen came on the pitch and just tried to calm the girls down a bit and got it a bit more organised. So yeah, our experienced players coming on.
Well, thank you very much. We won't keep you from your celebrations for any longer, but congratulations and well done.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Wow. So that is it for the Hampshire Cup final.
Yes.
An amazing penalty shootout, an incredible game overall. There was lots of drama. But we have now with us, we've got Neil Mullock again, and we have Ed Jones, our matchday pundit for today.
Yeah.
So let's have a little debrief, guys. Time for us to catch our breath. I mean, it's been pretty non-stop. And just talk to us about it. What's been your favourite moments?
Definitely at the end. Don't want to sound like cliche, but at the end, in the penalty shootouts, especially I want to mention something, when the Southampton players did miss the penalties, all their teammates came in to console the players. That seemed like a very beautiful moment. To keep in mind that these are very young girls and very youngsters just stepping into the professional world of football, and they seem very mature. So that's a very beautiful moment in the sport. It didn't happen for the Saints, but I have to say that they kept going, and even you saw the intensity. Both teams wanted it. They wanted a silverware at the end of the day. Bournemouth have it, and we're looking forward. Can the men match them tomorrow? Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think, Ed? I mean, you've watched the game as a pundit. You did. What do you think was a stand-up moment for you for the whole game?
The stand-up moment, I don't know if it's a moment, but just the feeling of tonight. I just think it's been exceptional. Just the fans, the way they've come down tonight. Obviously Tuesday night, after a big bank holiday weekend, it's not, from Southampton and Portsmouth. It's a bit of a drive, to be fair, on a Tuesday night. But yeah, I just love the whole spirit of it. Obviously, women's football, it's growing and growing ever more, and I think it's long may that continue.
Well, it's been an excellent occasion, as you said, Ed, and I think we just saw them lift the trophy. And it was just, it was an incredible moment for the fans and for the players and the families of the players to come and see this. But we are going to take the time now to tell you that the sponsor of tonight's match was Adopt South. So thank you very much to them for sponsoring this occasion. But anyway, let's keep talking about this game, because the penalty shootout is something I know we've talked about it already, but it's something that I think can't get brushed over, because to go on for that long with that amount of pressure on you, that takes some real guts, especially for young players to come in and do that. So Neil, I wanted to ask this question to you, because I asked a similar one to Ed earlier. Where do you get that? Where can you get that from? That kind of that still and that nerves to be in that situation and to score just goal after goal after goal in a penalty shootout?
Absolutely, as you mentioned, and actually I was talking to the skipper of Bournemouth before she came for the interview, and she was like, I just didn't want to take the second penalty after scoring one. So you can well imagine the mental aspect of the game is so much, and as you know, penalties is all about 90% is mind game sometimes, and the goalkeepers try to do a lot of things. We didn't see that much, to be honest, and from the sidelines, we didn't know what was really going on. As we see the lights go off, because as they say, the game finishes, but the media crew is always out there. But finishing it off pretty quickly. But yeah, I mean, it just went on and on. And as Harry mentioned, that it's all about that being in that zone, just kept on going on, because it was sudden death after literally the sixth penalty, and the team that showed more courage. And yeah, the Bournemouth, that's why they won. And lastly, I would like to mention, Harry did shed light upon that. We looked at the scenes at the end of the game. The players were with their families. There were hugs, there were kisses, there were a bit of tears as well. Just shows what it means and how women's football has come so far, in the last few years.
Yes. Well, and of course the time is to shut up now. So I don't want to ask you a quick question. This is the third time in a row it's going to penalties in the final. So that must be quite a tribute for the competition to have that thrive, have that sort of energy to go on to penalties.
Yeah, I mean, it creates a lot of anxiety, doesn't it? So, yeah, it's a tough situation in the penalty shootout. But no, I think, yeah, it's great drama tonight, a great occasion. And like we've said, long may women's football continue to rise.
Well, that it's time for us to wrap up. As you can see, the lights have already turned off behind us. So I think we'll take that as a sign to leave you guys be, and to thank you for watching us in the Hampshire FA Women's Cup final, sponsored by Adopt South. We hope you enjoyed watching and enjoyed all the drama.
And join us tomorrow for the men's final. The live stream will be on at 7:30 again with Neil and Ed as hosts. So we will see you then. Thank you guys for watching, and live for Bournemouth is Tuesday night.
Thank you very much.
See me tomorrow. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Adopt me and accept I have a history. Be my forever family that loves and cares for me. Can you cheer loud on the sidelines? Can you hug me if I lose? Can you help me with my homework? Can you be my mum or dad? Can you be it every day?